I killed Zara yesterday, dude. I'm ready for the stream. Let's go.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You're a real PvE now? Real PvE elitist?
Obviously.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't take filthy pugs with less than 3k li.
Less than 3k. Damn, but the spamming in chat.
Or less than 50k AP.
Somewhere in a parallel universe, Teapot isn't late. This is fucking bullshit, guys. They're trying to never watch Tea Time again. Watch Plenix and Kevin Time instead. No, guys. Boots is responsible for this, okay?
No, it was my fault. It's okay. Don't blame Boots.
Well, it's Roy's fault? Okay. Okay.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah? Okay.
Of course you are.
Yeah. Hello, guys. Hello. Wow. You guys are pretty high.
Have we already started? Is this?
Yeah, we're live, man. We're on stream. We're on stream, Boots.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, I do think that the place we start off here is. Then congratulations are in order to Boots. He was right for once. Not even Brazil would say wrong. With regards to how the pricing of the expansion went. So,
actually,
do you want to gloat a bit? Do you want to,
I do want to gloat a little bit. But only, I mean, I've been told I've been wrong many, many times. And even though I felt I was right about it, I let it slide. But this time around, I was pretty sure about what I was saying. And Inks was very insistent that I was wrong. So this one I'm pretty happy about. I have a short clip if you want to see it.
I mean, to be fair, you were wrong. It's just they changed their mind.
Wait.
You mean they changed their mind because I was so right?
Because they just agreed with you, I guess. They were like, you know what? Our way of thinking is wrong. We should listen to Boots. He's got good ideas.
I think that's what happened.
I think that's giving Boots way too much credit.
Wow. Wow. Woo. That's pretty rough.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. The expansion is you can buy POF, but then you get discount HOT as well, if you want to buy that. So, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I never argued.
Man.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen.
You haven't bought HOT yet, you should definitely buy the bundle. I don't know why you wouldn't have bought it yet if you're playing for the last 2 years.
Because think about it. You might as well just get while you wait for the expansion, you just do HOT while you wait. Easy.
Easy.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It'll also be you'll be missing a lot if you don't buy HOT.
A lot.
I mean, Viper's gear is still probably going to be meta for a little while.
Yeah, and that's another thing, right? It's going to be hard to beat these gear types. They're in they're in HOT. Like they're still going to be like, insanely good. And they're only introducing another 4, right? So it's not actually that many new gear sets, and they're probably going to be really. I mean, they're going to try and make them fun, but the 2 we've seen so far aren't actually that good. I don't know. Maybe we should ask Boots about that. What do you think about the stat types, Boots? Because you make bad builds.
I do. So what was it again? It was power.
One was like power, precision, condition damage, and ferocity. It was like all the basic attacks.
So that's basically like Sinister, right? Except with
ferocity.
Ferocity in it, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it should be good for certain builds. Yeah.
But is Sinister used in anything right now? I don't think so.
You use it to
not
supplement.
After Tuesday.
You use it to supplement some. I mean, with the foods, but they use it to supplement. If you overcap on condition duration, you fill with Sinister and PvE, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm still waiting for a full power, full ferocity, maybe some condition damage as well, but no precision for a Reaper.
For Reapers? For like Power Reaper, because of Decimate defenses and...
A whole stat set just for them?
Yeah. Well, I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Make Reaper viable in PvE again.
Yeah. Make Reaper great again.
Also, there's plenty...
That'll be nice.
There's quite a few other classes, though, that can bypass precision to get their crit chance. So, I mean, any power/damage stat combination where you could avoid using precision would be great.
Guardian and Rev as well.
Well, yeah, because on Rev you got there's a lot of crit modifiers on Guardian and Radiance in particular, right? And Rev has got 40% Fury as well, so you get like so much crit chance for free on Rev. So.
What are these emotes? There's a slubbling teapot head that dances, and what the hell is this other one? It's small, I can't make it out.
Yeah, do you like those emotes?
Put your glasses on, Ings.
You like?
I might. Yeah.
Put another pair of glasses on. You know.
Your other glasses.
So besides the fact that I was right, what else happened this week, guys?
Oh boy, did we have the expansion announcement? Did we have that, guys?
We had
There's an expansion.
There's an expansion, and oh boy, did ArenaNet do well on this announcement, guys.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think this was an extremely good announcement. I was not expecting it to be nearly as good as it actually was. It honestly hyped me even more than I was already hyped, honestly. Like, the execution of it was perfect. They showed the elite specs. They showed the masteries that they're going to add, which is basically mounts. Like, you can ride a bunny. You can ride a fish. You can ride a dog. You can ride everything, dude. And they showed off the new maps. The maps look really cool. All the enemies look really cool. Everything was fucking great about this, dude. The announcement.
They're adding the maps to the base game as well. All the maps.
Well, I mean,
which is
you think
be
about
really
it, that's
good.
just like smart marketing, man. Because like you show off to the base players, they go, "Damn, I want to ride a fish as well," you know, and then they buy the expansion and do that. Easy, and it makes you go faster as well. I wonder if they're going to add some.
Money.
I wonder if they're going to add like little secrets or shortcuts to the game that can only be used by mouse in the core game. In case you ever do that, I guess map completion.
That would be kind of cool.
That would be cool, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Because like, thinking about it, the map completion will be just easy mode because you can just run around on a mount the entire time now. And just jump everywhere.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to seeing, like, apparently in the expansion they're going to have it kind of like adventures where you group up and you do big mount races across the
Yeah,
map.
dude. That's fun.
So that looks pretty awesome. But I'm thinking, like, you could even probably organize your own mount races in Corteria. Just like race all the way across the map, see who gets there first on any kind of map you want.
Yeah, I mean,
Could be fun. Could be fun. Or race up jumping puzzles on mounts would be also kind of fun.
As long as it's not disabled, just like gliding. Some of the, some of the gliding is disabled. Jumping puzzles and mounts be the same way. Not for all of them. For some of them, it'll be fine. But
your keyboard is louder than my keyboard, and that's saying.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Impossible. That's actually not possible. That's not possible. Waypoint is better than mounts.
Are better than mounts.
I mean, that is true, but not in new maps that you don't have waypoints in.
Right. Well, the nice thing is you can, if you don't want to use mounts in the old maps, you don't have to, because I'm assuming they're gonna keep waypoints. They're not just gonna delete them all. So that'll be pretty good. So you don't have to, if you don't want to ruin your immersion of waypoints, you can keep them. But I think mounts will be good as well. It'll just be kind of a fun thing to have in the base maps. And
it's about the voyage, not the destination. So yeah, waypoints are good and all, but when you're rocking on a huge, cool looking mount. And speaking of which, what we saw of like the Raptor, for example, we didn't get to see much of the other mounts, but what we saw of the Raptor actually being used in game, it looks really good, like super polished. They definitely spent a long time working on these maps.
The way the mounts handle and the way they seem to feel looks really good, actually. But and it'll be if the maps are going to be really huge, they might be quite sparse on waypoints, right? So even if you waypoint, you're still going to have to get places.
So someone said there are only going to be 3 or 4 waypoints on the new maps.
Yeah, exactly. So and
they're going to be giant. I mean, bigger than
the maps are really big. They're the biggest. Yeah. They're the biggest maps we've ever seen, guys. And you're going to need mounts to navigate the harsh desert, guys.
One of the things that I really like that was a criticism for Heart of Thorns was in Heart of Thorns you just earned a mastery and you got gliding very quickly, but you just got the glider. And in Path of Fire, you do the first story step and you actually like rescue the mount. So it's included in the story on how you get the mount and then you go from there.
Yeah, I think that's what you...
Rather than it just magically appearing to unlock the mastery.
That was a huge criticism of Heart of Thorns in general with regards to how it works with the elite specializations and the masteries, right? You just randomly, like, well... I walked up to a hero point, I channeled it, and well, I'm a Tempest now. I'm a druid. That's that's good.
Well, it was a little more than that.
Was it?
You had to do 3 or 4 heart.
Yeah. You got to do 3 of them, right? And go, well, yeah, I'm a berserker now. I can do that. I'm just gonna pick up gonna pick up a torch. We good?
To be fair, I didn't hate that because I mean it was. You sort of wanted to be able to, play and experience the elite specializations as quickly as you could. I don't think locking it behind a huge time gate would have made any sense.
Well, it did. Originally, it was sort of locked behind a huge time gate, right?
Yeah, it was a lot longer, and it was like, I think 400 hero points, and then they made it 250. Which, that makes sense to me. I don't think it's...
But the main criticism of the way they implemented it one main criticism about the way they implemented it though was that there was no like connection to the lore of how to train these things.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it looks like they might be doing at least something about that for this this time around. So it should be interesting to see what they do.
Should be cool.
How bad is my connection, by the way?
I'm
fine.
sort of skipping every few seconds. I mean, I think I don't know if the call is as bad.
It's probably just Skype, man. And Skype is
It could just,
Skype is a hilarious meme.
Skype's a flawless tool.
Yes, it is. Well, on an unrelated note, how glad are you guys that Discord's going to have video calls and we can just delete Skype? Nice meme. Ooh, it'll be
turning into a Discord tea time now.
Yeah.
Well, it's always been kind of discordant.
No.
What is happening?
No, stop.
Oh man.
Oh, how long until you cringe number 2? There we go. That's this.
Oh yeah. Are we showing the video?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
It's a great
We're here
video.
to talk about Guild Wars 2, not
yeah.
terrible cringe dance videos.
No, that was it. That was quality content, though, Inks. I mean, that's probably your best video.
It's my best. Yeah, it's the best non-content. What is Jesse Cox and whatchamacallit used to call non-content?
Yeah.
It's the best non-content I can produce.
It was quality. It was good stuff. If they manage to integrate masteries and elite specs into the lore, into the game, I think that'll be really good. I think that's one of the weirdest and most unfortunate things about HOT, really. But that is about to change, guys. You got to rescue the raptor, and it lets you ride it around forever. That's how it works, right? That makes perfect sense. You ask me. And yeah, I don't know. The expansion is hype, man. We've got elite specializations, new elite specializations, and you know what's really great about these elite specializations? Like, none of them look absolutely fucking broken as well. Like, just looking at them. Obviously, it's hard to see without actually seeing any numbers or proper tests.
None of them look broken.
Yeah, I don't think they're...
None of them look broken.
I don't think they're particularly broken, no, man. Like, what do you think's broken? Except for Spellbreaker. Like, Spellbreaker...
Ellie is going to be broken.
Except for Spellbreaker.
Weaver is going to be broken.
Of course Weaver's... I mean, it's Ellie, man. Like, it's obviously going to be broken.
I don't know.
It's going to be fucking
Scourge
broken,
looks kind of oppressive.
I don't think they look as sort of overpowered as I think some of the Heart of Thorn specs were when they came out, besides Spellbreaker. But again, obviously it's just speculation right now. I have to actually play them.
Deadeye looks like it's going to be the worst thing to play against 1 versus 1 in the world. Yeah. Like, just awful. But the most fun to play as in 1 versus 1, probably. In
roaming or in open world or something, like in World of World, but not. I don't think as much in PvP just because the maps are too small.
Too small. You're right. Yeah. What else? Holomancer looks like it's going to be a very fun. Holomancer and Weaver both look like two. Oh. Wow, I'm lagging a lot, I think.
Well, no, it's Skype is real shaky today.
Yeah, I think it's just Skype.
I think that there's going to be a lot of balancing after this launches. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, of course.
Even the numbers that we're seeing now, which will change a lot, by the way. I mean, just some of the concepts that they have going for them seem really strong. And I understand that because you want people to be excited about the elite specs. You want them to get their fair shake and fair time in the sun. But there's going to be a lot of balancing. That's all I'm going to say.
Because they don't want to make them so that no one is playing the old elite specs either.
Yeah,
because that was I think one of the other issues with Heart of Thorns was elite specs were originally supposed to be an additional way to play the game or an additional way to play the class, but they pretty much always took over. I mean, there aren't. There's a couple instances where the vanilla spec is still viable or better, but not very many. And I think so. They're gonna have to do a good job of implementing the new specs.
I think that was my point of view when Heart of Thorns was coming out and first came out. I was like, oh, they should just be another way to play. I think, and then of course when they first came out, Heart of Thorns elite specs were overpowered, and they got reduced a little bit over time.
Some of them, yeah.
But then I think we all kind of grew to accept them as elite specializations are elite. They are a better option in many cases than core specs. Yeah. And I think now we're starting to understand also that all elite specs coming out will be better than core specs. But hopefully, they'll be on the same level as other elite specs.
My problem is then you sort of get into, I mean, again, I don't really see why you wouldn't buy Heart of Thorns. But again, if you don't have Heart of Thorns, you're at a disadvantage in that case. Or Path of Fire in this. coming expansion. But you're not wrong. I think for the most part, everyone sort of understands that they're going to be better.
Yeah.
But hopefully, they won't be as insanely overpowered as say like Dragon Hunter was right when Heart of Thorns came out. That was a bit crazy. Although I think Spellbreaker is going to be very, very strong in open field for World vs. World. And
we're Revenant.
Yeah,
Renegade was pretty good at launch, and then
it's gonna be great.
You know what it's like today.
You just got punished, man. You could get punished. Like, stop playing that class. It's time to stop.
Although that's the whole class itself, not just the elite spec for Revenant.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the first time we're actually going to see some kind of proper build diversity to a certain extent, because now is where you're going to actually start to see some horizontal memes, because it's going to be actually a different playstyle instead of like just a strictly better playstyle. Because for a lot of elite specs, they're mostly strictly better. But now these, you're actually going to give stuff up. So if we compare like Weaver and Tempest, right, you're not going to have overloads, for example, right? But you have this quick weaving mechanic, right? Instead of where you just can swap really quickly. Yeah. And Necro, you're not going to have Shroud, right? In the same way that you have Shroud, you're going to use Life Force to cast abilities, right? Instead, like you give something up in order to get something else, right? And that's kind of what Elite Specializations was supposed to be, but they ended up not really being that at all, actually.
Especially with Berserker, which was basically just a boost to War.
There's no reason not to play Berserker ever, really.
Yeah, exactly, right? And
go ahead.
So
what do you guys think about this possibility? I've seen a lot of people talking about this, that Barrier, it's called Barrier, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Barrier is going to give Scholar uptime. It's going to give people more Scholar uptime, or the possibility of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, technically, but it's not like to the point where it's going to, I don't think it's going to, because the skills that I saw, it was only like 3k or like between 3 and 4k health shield, I think. And I mean, that's not a huge amount. That doesn't sound like it's going to be
I mean, a lot of classes, that's an extra level of play. Like, keep the barriers up on these people so that they can do even more DPS than they would normally be doing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really like that. I like that interaction a lot, actually.
I like it too. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're just gonna randomly. I mean, the thing is, like, there's gonna be barriers everywhere. It seems that barriers being added to a lot of things, not just the new specializations as well. So I mean, that is kind of like a subtle buff to power.
Yeah,
builds,
we're gonna get it on the next update, right? It's going to be added to Ellie.
Ellie. Yeah, it's got
Ellie's
some
gonna have it.
auras, right? It
so
interacts with like some of the Earth skills.
I think the update on Tuesday is going to include that. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. So we're going to be able to play with barriers
like
before
the true viability of that, right? We're going to see like, how that actually works out.
I mean, the meta is already going to start changing slightly. I mean, they're going to because they're going to be getting food buffs as well. I think, right?
Well, they're just wrecking all the condition duration and boon duration foods. It's absolutely getting like smitten, dude. They're just wrecking it good, and they're turning like 20% duration down to 6.6% duration. So, hey, wrecked. Yeah, so there's going to be a bit of a reshuffle there. They're toning down Condi a little bit, making you're going to have to make Mesmers do something stupid.
I mean, we've only seen the food and gear changes to expertise and concentration, right? We haven't even seen what they're doing to classes yet. Like, Tuesday is going to be a pretty big day, to be quite honest. I have this feeling. Like, we don't know. I mean, I think Condi's going to get nerfed in quite a few places to bring it more in line. But then you've got updates to World vs. World, structured PvP with the armor. You got gliding.
Should we talk about that a little bit?
I mean, we're going to here in a second, I think. But like, Tuesday is going to be a pretty big patch for those who really care about build diversity and changing builds and stuff. And that stuff. To me, like Nike has said, Nike is a person who always says like those patches are content patches to him because of how important those changes are. And
it's going to affect the game.
And I agree. I think it's going to be pretty big.
I think PvP will be affected the least just because obviously they don't use food. And I mean they're getting the armor, but that's mostly it from what I remember. So it'll be PvE and World vs. World that get affected the most.
Well, that's assuming that there isn't going to be some more significant balance changes.
Right, there might be, absolutely. Of course, we don't really know.
Well, I mean, I've heard some rumors that some things are going to get nerfed and kind of shuffled around a bit. Some people are already kind of, crying about how Ellie is going to get wrecked. Apparently, Ellie's going to get wrecked on Tuesday, just saying.
Really?
Yeah, apparently they're gonna wreck Ellie, that's what I've heard.
Right, but then you have the 22nd, very close behind that's going to change everything again. Like
exactly right. So
you're gonna be wrecked for a month.
Yeah, and then you get Weaver. And then,
The meta is changing at an alarming rate, everybody.
It is changing at an alarming rate.
Well, I'm excited for any change, to be honest. And
Yeah.
The meta hasn't really been changed very much.
And to a certain extent, they can kind of mess around a little bit and play with some stuff, because coming into the expansion, everything's going to be so radically different anyway. It barely even matters at this point what they do with the balance. They can have some fun, and then I don't know. Again, think about it. They're buffing raids, guys. Everyone wants raids to be harder and fractals to be harder. Think about it, guys. They're just going to nerf everything, then everything's harder, right? They make it more difficult.
Yeah.
There was a Reddit post about this. One guy was saying, like, raids are already really difficult. And now they're making raids 16% harder because they're nerfing Condi? How am I going to do raids now? How am I going to do raids now without my Condi, man? It's just,
It's not like you were clearing it before all that. 16%.
No, hey, raids are hard, okay? There's some of us who can't do them like you guys.
Yeah. Raids are very hard, and I struggle with their difficulty on a daily basis, man. Yeah. I mean, this is a well-known fact. Like,
it's okay.
I feel like I'm like 2 seconds behind you guys.
Wait, what? Are you lagging?
Yeah, it keeps skipping. I think you just have to get used to it. Unfortunately, it's fucking up today.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, is it possible for me to drop and then rejoin, maybe?
If you want, I don't know if it's gonna fix anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that will help, man. I think it's just Skype being weird.
I think it's doing it. Yeah, it's doing it for all of us. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh well.
Skype's memeing on us.
Aren't you always behind anyways, Boots?
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. How often do you watch the show, by the way? Is this like off of 2 episodes?
Well, there's been other shows without me. I didn't even know.
Damn, dude. It was pretty.
We just started Tea Time. It's brand new.
That was actually pretty wrecked. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie. Are you just gonna take that, Boots? Like, this is the new Brazil. You're just getting roasted.
Come back later. He'll wait.
Yeah.
I think I have to take it from Roy. He knows what he's talking about. Speaking of knowing what he's talking about, World versus World, they're adding a little something.
Yeah.
A little something.
Like
They're adding
this.
2 somethings. Yes, they are. We're gliding and legendary armor, which is going to be really fun.
Yeah.
Surprise.
Gliding.
Surprise.
Yeah,
out of
I was
nowhere,
not
man.
expecting
Out
it at
of
all.
nowhere, dude. Yeah.
It was pretty crazy. I mean, they had said they were going to be releasing the updates for World versus World. Right, during the expansion release, everyone was saying, "Where's the PvP updates? Where's the World versus World updates?" They said they would be updating them. I figured it was going to be some sort of like UI update or some small quality of life change, but no, gliding in World versus World, which has been a meme for how long? I think since Heart of Thorns.
Since Heart of Thorns.
I've been wanting it since Heart of Thorns came.
I got to be honest, I don't want to say that like I'm really excited about it, because I would have preferred, and I think a lot of people would have preferred, to see something else than gliding be introduced to, like, some sort of population balance change or update the linking system or something, something that I think a lot more people are worried about. But at the same time, I think a lot of people are sort of overreacting with gliding, just because, I mean, how they set it up with territories, you can't glide into enemy keeps. Obviously, we don't know yet if you can glide while you're in combat, so that, we're going to have to see how that works. But I don't think it's going to really take anything away from the game mode. And I think it might make it a bit more fun for some people. And if that's the case, then great. Are you saying timeout, Boots?
So now I was just wondering, okay, so we pretty much all know what the good things about gliding in World vs. World are going to be. Probably going to be super fun, gliding into places, gliding into attack, doing stuff like that. Getting around faster is going to be good. Especially on the Desert Borderland map, gliding on there is probably going to be very, very useful. I haven't really been following the conversation on the forums or anything. What are the main reasons people don't want it in?
So the main reasons I've seen, one, again, it's just been is a meme for such a long time. I think a lot of people are just like, oh, it's a joke. Like, this is, another gimmick sort of thing. And I mentioned this on a past broadcast, how ArenaNet, they introduced stuff into World versus World that I think it sort of seems like they don't really understand what's going on. Like, the Golem week was a huge disaster. And it was, it was one of those, like, fun PvE sort of event things where everyone who actually played World vs. World hated it. Obviously, it was only a week, so whatever. But it was also pretty buggy.
I loved it.
And they added, like, the PvE events for the Nightmare Tower, the portable cannons thing as well, which obviously they reverted, which was really good. And the other thing I wanted to mention about the gliding is they did say this is a test. So if it turns out it's going to be awful and it's just going to, like, destroy the game mode, they're not going to keep it in, because they didn't with the portable cannons. I don't think they're so blind to criticism and to the majority of World vs. World players that if everyone hates the gliding, then they're not going to keep it in. But I think also a lot of people, sorry, but they don't. So a lot of like the core World players, some of the ones I've talked to, anyways, they don't see it as something that's necessary for World versus World. It's again, it's just it's a gimmick. It's like who cares? It doesn't help the game mode. It's not really something that you need to fight groups or take keeps and stuff. But again, it's like I said, I don't think it's really going to negatively impact the game mode in a way. The one thing it'll do though is it'll make Stone Mist a lot more important, I think, on Eternal Battlegrounds, because whoever controls Stone Mist is going to be able to glide in that area. Right. And depending on how you can glide from between your like connected territories. So like if you saw, there was an image that one of the devs posted on the forums of how the territories are split up in EB, and there's borders, and Stone Mist is connected to like the border from like a keep. So if you can glide from Stone Mist to the keep without actually having to touch the ground, it's going to be really, really strong because you're not going to get ganked, you're not going to get killed in between.
You're probably not going to have it be
probably
that
not.
No. You're probably going to have to touch the ground. Yeah.
Well,
I wonder if they're going to put in like
that
launch
much.
pads.
You'll probably have to skip people. You'll be able to skip over a lot of stuff because for example, Stone Mist is pretty high, right? And say if you're in your garrison in your home borderland, you're pretty high up compared to everything around. So you can probably get a good distance to prevent ganking.
You can get pretty far, yeah.
Yeah, you can probably get a good distance, but I don't know. As long as the territory system actually works properly and there's no kind of weird way around it, I don't see how it can be too bad.
It's going to be pretty good in your alpine borderland,
right?
Because you're on a big hill from your zone.
I don't think they've shown a map of how the alpine borderlands are going to be split up, or the desert borderlands. But it'll be interesting to see if you can glide out of Citadel or anything. Not that really you're not really going to be able to get anywhere from there, except maybe some of the northern towers. But again, like I said, the
only thing
it's not something I'm excited about, but it's not something I think I'm going to hate either, because we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it works. And again, if it's awful, I don't think they're going to keep it in the game. So, but legendary armor.
Yeah. Legendary armor. Obviously, we need to wait till Tuesday to see what the gifts are going to cost. That's really an important integral part of it. I think it's a bit of a shame. People are really going to hate this sort of viewpoint on it, but I always felt like when we got tier 3 armor where you needed 2k of rank, that should have been legendary with like a gold cost or something added to it, because that's the only thing really lacking from it as far as like what it should have been in the first place. But ArenaNet has decided, I think mostly because of structured PvP, that tier 2 is where you should really look at starting from. And my only issue with that, not so much for World vs. World, but for PvP, that the currency gain is much faster than it is for World vs. World as far as tickets go. And it's much faster than even PvE acquisition is. I kind of hope in PvE you get the animations and whatever, so it is different. It's a little more special. Okay, that's fine, but I feel like the acquisition in PvP could be the fastest way to get it, and if it is, then that's what people will flock to.
Yeah, and that is I think that's a problem as well. I agree with you. I think they definitely need to make it so that you can't get it so fast in PvP, because you can get a full set of armor, I think, from one reward track, can't you? Or like completing the whole reward track.
I think it's
almost one.
Yeah, it's about the same. It's like I think you're very just shy of it, if I recall correctly.
So I mean, if you play PvP every day, I think you can finish it within a week easily, if you really play. Even if you lose a lot of games, because I'm pretty sure you can finish the reward track. I don't really pay attention to it too much. So
that sounds unrealistic.
No,
guys, it's not that long of a reward track. It really isn't.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
Wait, what? Up to Byzantine chest in PvP is enough for a chess piece? Wait, what happened to the rewards? Oh yeah, they demolished it, didn't they? You did it like 4 times. You did it like 1,000,000 times now.
Oh, okay. I guess I'm wrong, but
it used to be you do the whole thing and you get 1,200 shards, but now they like slashed it in quarter or something. But it's still pretty easy to get it. It's still pretty.
Yeah, it's going to be faster.
It's interesting because it's going to take you like 2 seasons to get a full set, and of course there's going to be a long downtime between those seasons. But you could technically lose your way to legendary armor, which I don't like. Now, losing your way to legendary armor is going to take you a bazillion hours, so people aren't going to do that or aren't going to want to do that. but it's still possible to do, right?
You could raid buy your way to legendary armor.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I guess that's technically true.
No.
You
Totally
could.
yummy. Totally yummy. Yeah. So you'd have to grind the fuck out of PvP, but you can pretty quickly get all the shards, right? You get 400. You get I think it's a little over 400 shards for doing the whole track, doing all the chests, and you repeat the last one for 100 over and over again. So you can get it pretty quickly. But just put it like this, guys: it's a lot easier than getting it through War vs. World.
Yeah, I think it is possible to get it in one season if you grind it enough.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's no cap on it anymore. They removed the cap. So I think you have to do it. Wait, you just do the full track all the way through. That gives you a bit over 400, and then you'd have to do it another 8 times. You have to do the final chest like 8 times to get up to 1200.
Yeah. I think for lack of more meaningful and impactful PvP and World vs. World changes, this surprise update is really good right before the expansion because carrying into the expansion, I think for PvP, they're relying on automated tournaments, the influx of people coming into the game, and the hope of legendary armor and PvP to keep it going for a little while. And World vs. World, gliding's a big change, and legendary armor as well. And again, influx of people coming in. So even if they don't massively change World vs. World and PvP in the expansion, in the first few months, they're still going to have an influx of people for sure now, which is good.
I think it's really important that they added it too, just because people have been asking, people wanted to be able to, like, if you really only play PvP or you really only play World vs. World, then they kept complaining about how you have to go into PvE to get your legendary armor. It's definitely really important that they added it.
And for World vs. World players, this is going to be
huge. Oh yeah.
Bigger than probably almost any other game mode, to be quite honest. Just because there's a lot more build variety that's used within the game mode itself, and a lot of switching that could happen between classes.
Yeah, it's going to be really good for everyone though, just because of how much changes are going to be coming up in the next month or so, or months.
And people are asking, like, can I use this legendary armor in PvE? Yeah, absolutely. It's armor.
It's the same as the armor you get from raids, except that it's not the skins. It's the same stats. It's the same how you can change your stats. You can change the runes and stuff without destroying them. But it won't be the same skins as the raid armor from the PvE raids. Well, everything else is the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I'm just concerned about effort and cost, right? I want those to be fairly equal across game modes, but we'll have to wait and see until what that looks like on Tuesday.
I think the timing of introducing World vs. World gliding is also very planned. I think they probably were ready to introduce gliding into World vs. World a while ago, is my guess. Not too long, like not a year ago, I'm saying, but like maybe several months ago. But they waited till now, I think, because the idea is you still need Heart of Thorns to do gliding in World vs. World, and the idea of a new expansion coming out with Heart of Thorns being able to be bought at a reduced price lessens the impact of people thinking, hey, if I only have the core game, I can't glide in World vs. World, and that's going to be really detrimental to the meta for me.
I don't know that the meta is going to really circulate around gliding at all.
Well, if you're following a commander,
it's falling down.
If you're following a commander who's jumping off of cliffs all the time,
right? Yeah, you're going to be behind. Absolutely, that's a good point. Again, we have to see how it works. It might be bad. It might not be. But again, I can't imagine that people have been playing the game for the last years without Heart of Thorns. That blows my mind.
It happens.
It's been on sale
there's still a lot of.
Right? I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't buy it. Like,
of course not. But there's still a lot of play for free players who want to.
It gives extra incentive for you to buy it. Yeah, this is a big conversation I've had on other podcasts where people they didn't like. It's not that they didn't like the discounted price. Everybody likes a discounted price, right? They didn't like the way that it was advertised and how Heart of Thorns is not really bundled in, when even myself was sort of led to believe that was going to happen. Wordplay is very important here, and that's obviously not how it actually works. It's just that they will always give you one price to own everything, is really what they meant.
Which is what I said in that long conversation we had.
Because Boots was right.
That's right.
But
it was like a 40-minute argument.
It was a long argument, man. And Boots was right, man.
You know what? You're still wrong, Boots. But anyway,
and I watched the whole thing. I watched the whole thing over again, and I recommend it to everybody to go find it because it's a 40-minute argument where I was right the entire time, and actually Brazil backed me up.
Which is about the one time he was correct.
Yeah, only once.
He's telling everyone to go watch that video.
Okay, sure, B-Boy. They didn't lead you into anything, but they clearly heard and understood what the community thought of what they meant, and they didn't supposedly mean that. This is just like saying, and I don't mean to pick on whatever dev said it. This is just like saying, we're not going to Lake Doric, but we're going to Lake Doric. Sorry, gotcha. It's not the same map, but it's still Lake Doric. You know, it's not exactly that, but they knew the community thought a particular thing, and then they were like, well, this still works because it's in the confines of the wording. And don't get me wrong, I am happy to be wrong. I'm happy that Boots is right and Inks is wrong. I really am. But some people are just they wish it was like more visible on the main page to buy Heart of Thorns or whatever.
It isn't shown very well. I didn't even know that you could buy Heart of Thorns with Path of Fire for $50.
Yeah, I think all of those referral links bring you directly to the Path of Fire page, or it used to. I don't know if it does anymore, but the old referral links used to bring you there. But if you go directly to the store from the Guild Wars 2 website, it brings you to an option of Heart of Thorns stuff and Path of Fire stuff.
I just clicked on Teapots, and it brings you to a page. It says there's a box that says buy Guild Wars 2 Heart of Thorns, and then there's another box that says buy Guild Wars 2 Path of Fire.
Yeah, then those are the new
links.
First
mistake is you clicked the wrong link. You clicked Teapot's link. That's
no. That's the right link. That's the right link, guys.
It's the wrong link.
I mean, it's an interesting way of doing it because to actually get to the kind of the bundling, you'll buy Path of Fire, and then there's a little banner that says "Add Heart of Thorns" for this amount, right? So there's no in the initial page it says buy one or the other. Then afterwards it will ask you if you want to buy the other one as well. I know that's fair, right? That's fair.
Can you go to the buy Heart of Thorns link, and will it say also buy Path of Fire, or can you only get that from?
But anyway, That wasn't the main argument that people had, or the main concern people had. The concern is that people will go in and just buy Path of Fire and not buy Heart of Thorns, and then you won't be able to access the Guild Hall. You won't have access to scribing because that's Heart of Thorns only. You'll get the Revenant, but you can't get Herald. No, you can't. You won't get Herald, which is fair enough. But and then if you're riding on your mount, you're hopping along on your fucking bunny,
and then you see
and then all of a sudden you glide away, and it's like, wait, how can I glide away? Why don't I have gliding?
I have a very important question.
And yes, you did talk about this.
Yeah, guys. Very important question. Revenants.
Yeah.
How does that work?
What do you mean
if you don't have Heart of Thorns?
You get Revenant base.
Yeah, but
just not Herald.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, you
do
get
Renegade.
Revenant was added to the base game, but you won't get Herald unless you have. I think so.
Okay, people want me to make it clear that you can't claim the Guild Hall. Yes, so that's what I mean. You can't claim the Guild Hall.
Right, yeah.
You can enter the Guild Hall if somebody else has claimed it for you.
I don't think you can go into the arena.
Claim it. But that's important. Claiming is important.
I'm not sure, but I don't think you can go into the arena if you don't have Heart of Thorns. I'm pretty sure I've been in arenas before, and people saying they can't enter it because they don't have Heart of Thorns. And that brings me to something else. What do you guys think of the new Guild Hall? Just from the small videos we've seen of it, like the small clips that we've seen of it.
It looks good. Apparently it's a bit smaller than
something interesting about it.
I don't know how much, but
the new arena has a hole in the center of it, which is going to be very interesting for fighting.
Next GVG arena, man. That's like the next GVG.
Yeah.
You can banish people into the hole, dude. Think about that.
Yeah, if anyone uses that for GVG, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking of that.
Maybe you can fill it in some way. Maybe you can fill it in some way. I don't know.
Because isn't there an option in one of the guild halls? There's an option in one of the guild halls to like remove an outside barrier, right?
No, so the base guild hall doesn't have a barrier around the guild hall arena, so you can fall off the edge of it. And when you upgrade the guild hall arena enough times, you can put a barrier around it so you can't get knocked out of it.
They'll probably have something like that where you just have a barrier.
Yeah,
on
but
top
again,
of
it's just what's the reason? Like, why is there a hole in the center or something? It's
I
just
don't know.
fine.
I don't
It's
know.
a meme
fun.
on
I
you,
think
dude.
they
It's a
took,
meme on you. Okay.
Because this is Sparta.
It'd also be
It is Sparta.
It's the Game of Thrones thing.
the Sparta memes. I wonder too, like when you enter the new guild hall, obviously you have to go through the claiming process again. It won't be Mordrum this time. It'll be Balthazar guys or whatever, something else, I guess. Because
Whatever the new mobs are.
in Heart of Thorns, it's Mordremoth minions, but so it'll be something else. But if you have a fully upgraded guild hall, then you're not going to see these will you see the buildings repair and grow and all that stuff that happens?
What do you mean?
So when you're upgrading a guild hall, everything starts with a pile of dirt, basically,
Right,
a
yeah.
pile of rubble. And as you upgrade it, it looks nicer and nicer until it's fully built. But you might not get that experience in the new game when you get the new guild hall,
if you just
right?
transfer your current guild
Right,
hall over
yeah.
to the new one. Right, yeah,
if you have a
probably
maxed
not.
out guild. I
Probably
wonder.
not. Yeah, I'm sure there'll be some people that just started out new, though, just for that reason and also to experience it.
Right, I know,
The
like I know
immersion.
currently that the guild hall is just finished, but I'm wondering if like the first time you do it, if they would give you that experience or not.
I mean, there wouldn't really be a way to unless they limit it to whatever area you're standing in slowly upgrades, and then you move to the next area and it slowly upgrades, but that seems like a lot of work. I don't know. I would assume no, but who knows? Who really knows?
Guys, I know all the stuff carries over to the new guild hall.
No, as soon as you claim the new guild hall, it deletes all your upgrades.
Yeah, it
That's
is
not
fuck.
my question.
Yeah. You like spend 50k gold to spend that shit again, man. Yeah, it's gone now.
Good luck. Win Wooden
Oh
Potatoes
my
giveaway.
gosh.
Yeah, you have to win the game. You have to win the WP's video competition just to buy the new guild hall, man. Like, there's nothing else you can do. Like, yeah, fuck it. Get wrecked.
My question is, are they gonna let you see those cutscenes? I know everything transfers, guys. I understand. I know how guild halls work.
So I don't think you know how guild halls work. I'm sorry.
I don't think you know how anything works.
Sorry.
Apparently not. I've never experienced that. You'll get the trash version of the buildings. Yeah, I understand that, Rima, but like, I want the cutscene when I claim it for the first time. Is my point. When maybe
Thanks,
even
like,
if it's just
see-
an aerial shot.
The fruits of his labor.
Look, I want to see the role play,
Yeah,
man.
he
I
wants-
need to
he's a
see
role
it
player.
getting built
Yeah.
by Tengu and Sand
Yeah.
People. I want to see it
Sand
freaking
people.
built
Sand
up.
people?
Sand people.
Yeah, Sand People.
Oh boy.
And if there's not a faction that ride around on yaks and shoot you with rifles, I'm gonna be a little disappointed. I have to
Wait,
say.
run on yaks and
Yeah.
shoots people with rifles?
Did you see
You're looking-
the Reddit? Someone
Yeah,
posted a
about the
picture of
Deadeye.
sand person.
Yeah, the Deadeye.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know that's
Star
what
Wars
it's
is
going
the
to
new
be.
Deadeye. Yeah.
People will be role playing like that. You know, the new expansion really opens up like some RP opportunities,
Yeah.
right?
I'm excited for it. I got to be honest. I wasn't thinking I was going to be excited for the new expansion, but I actually am. I'm looking forward to it. I mean, any shift in the meta is going to be completely change it. So I think it'll be good. Also,
Speaking
I'm
of
excited
shit
to
in
play.
the meta, did you guys want to go over the elite specs and see if we could
I
talk
know
about them
you
a
do,
little bit?
Boots.
Maybe
That's
a
what
bit.
Boots is most excited for.
Well,
Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know if we want to specifically go over each skill, right? For each one, it would probably take too long.
I think
and
we
I'm
should
sure a
probably
lot of-
do that though.
Oh
Right.
boy. Well, good luck. I'm gonna go get some. Go ahead. It's
All right.
all you.
No, okay, we could do overview, I guess, if you want.
Oh, yeah, is there something
I-
specific you want to talk about?
Yeah,
with each?
I think the best way to go about this is an overview because right now we don't really know any true values. We only have very, very vague ideas of how everything works and interacts. Wouldn't you say? We haven't seen people with like all you know is the mechanics. You don't know any of the numbers really. Like the numbers are not really clear yet.
Yeah, but you could learn a lot from the mechanics.
But
You learn a
the
lot.
roles that each class is going to play is going to be important, just because like now Ellie is going to shift away from like the generic support role outside of PvE raids, and Guardian might also shift a bit away from that. Although I think Guardian will still be supportive in like Wordless World and stuff. And then of course for PvE raids, it's going to shift some classes away from being those damage dealers. Maybe Druid will stop being just a healer and start being full. Obviously not Condy Ranger, but so yeah, I mean, I think knowing like what each class's role sort of could be. Obviously, we don't know for sure yet, but what it could be is going to be important when you're talking about the meta. So you're wrong, Teapot. Yeah.
Yeah, wrong. No, they are. Golden Boots, hit us.
Sad.
Hit us with it.
Well, I
Man.
don't know. Okay,
Hit us.
so what do you guys know about? I mean, Deadeye is pretty straightforward, right? You have
Sniper.
You're a sniper.
Actual sniper, man.
But it's also there's a lot of like more different sort of evades, right?
Not really. That's the chrono.
I haven't looked at it very much.
You get a lot of access, like a ridiculous, probably OP access to stealth with the Deadeye.
And you can get rid of reveal as well, which is kind of interesting. You can
really,
yeah.
I didn't know that. That's gonna be scary.
The elite
Roaming
means
is
you
gonna
can
be
unreveal
just
yourself.
Deadeyes everywhere.
Well, yeah. It's because it's going to be even more no losey than Thief is right now. Like it's like, well, it looks like I'm losing this fight. Well, see you guys later. It looks like I actually don't lose. Looks like I just disengage and then I can just come back and kill you again. Right?
It's the superior ghost thief.
Yeah, you're going to be very, very slippery with Deadeye and just going to be able to disengage.
The thing with Deadeye is, if people complain about it being, too strong and sort of 1v1s, it's not going to be really strong anywhere else. So I don't really see them nerfing it, or changing how it works, because I don't think that specific mechanic is really going to play into it being. It's obviously not going to affect D&D. I don't think Zerging is going to really have a big deal. And again, with PvP maps, they're just too small for that to be really effective. I mean, the stealth might be interesting for decaps, but again, you're not going to be able to do too much. Plus, there's not a ton. I shouldn't say there's no revealing. I was going to say there's no revealing PvP, but that's not true. But yeah, we'll have to see how it works, of course.
Spellbreaker's getting a lot of reveal, getting a lot of Thief and Mesmer hate in their new break, in their build. It's going to be really interesting to see a Deadeye versus a Spellbreaker, because I don't know. It'd be
interesting to see a Spellbreaker versus everything. No more boons for you.
But I think the trouble with Spellbreaker is like Spellbreaker and Wolf vs. World is going to be really good, obviously. But in PvP, like, is it going to be? I don't know, man. I'm not sure if it's going to be.
I was thinking it might not be insanely overpowered in PvP.
Yeah. I think it'll be good.
Just because I think it's going to affect. Yeah, not bad, not good. I mean, Warrior's pretty much completely out of the meta now in PvP. Which is a bad thing. I think when Warrior was in the meta, it was good. Obviously, I mean, anytime there's a class that's completely out of the meta, I think is a problem. So I'm hoping that it brings it back into the meta more. But again, we'll have to see if it's going to be competitive at like really high end game player.
I think it will, because right now Warrior has some decent builds. One of the decent builds is sort of an interrupt denial condition build, and the one thing that counters that is stability. So the Spellbreaker is going to be able to remove stability pretty effectively, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how overpowered the Spellbreaker's boon removal will be in order to deal with the stability and be able to do as many interrupts as you'd like to make your build actually work well.
I'm excited to play it just because it has daggers.
You really like daggers? I know a lot of people who aren't really that excited about daggers on Warriors. Some people don't really like the daggers on the Warrior, man. Like,
dude, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, I agree. Double incinerator, dude. Double incinerator. It's fucking hype. Wow. Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Be amazing.
I'm looking forward to playing it.
Wait until you see the Gen 2 Season 4 Dagger Legendary, guys.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
Floppy fish. Just wait. Floppy fish dagger. It's a little piranha. You hold its tail, and you just stab people in the face with it. It's amazing. You guys are going to flip out. Makes little piranha sounds.
Someone just wrote in chat how Spellbreaker is going to be hated in World vs. World because of the ability to remove stability, and that's going to be huge.
Game changer.
I'm a bit worried about that, to be honest, just because I'm hoping it's not going to make pirate shipping a thing again. Because when stability was first nerfed, pirate shipping was huge, and then they changed it, and so pirate shipping wasn't as strong anymore. And if obviously I think if to be in melee, right, to remove stability on Spellbreaker. I'm not sure. I haven't looked at other skills on it, but hopefully it won't do that again, because I think that would be a problem.
Well, I think I think that what's going to have to be watched is the elite, right? I mean, the elite.
Yeah, the elite is.
You can't reapply the boons, so it's like you lose the stability. Yeah. I mean, like the boons that are kind of scary to lose are stability and resistance, right? So yeah, and if you lose those two and you can't get them back, and the enemy group or blob, where is able to kind of catch you and keep you in that bubble, You're,
Yeah.
you're
It's
literally
also-
in World of
it's
Sword.
over.
You're actually a free kill, right? There's nothing you can do.
You get eaten.
Yeah,
by the
you just
horde.
get destroyed by it. So like that.
And it's a big field too.
Yeah, it's
360.
big. Yeah,
Big
yeah, it's
field.
a big
I think the warrior doesn't have to stay there. It's like a small
yeah, it's a
channel,
bubble.
and then
It's a bubble you put down. Yeah, it's a one.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
and
then
it
you can walk
follows.
around.
It follows the warrior as well.
No, it
just
doesn't.
stay-
It stays
No,
there,
it's a
but the
ranged thing.
warrior can move within it. I
Right.
think.
Okay. I'm interested to see if you leave it. If you leave the bubble, I think then you can get boons back, right?
Yeah,
I'm assuming
yeah.
it's the.
I think you
Yeah.
can. Yeah, the way it works
But, I
is
mean,
it pulses at a half-second interval, I think.
Yeah.
And the boon
It's 10 seconds.
the boon hate is a 1 second thing though. So if you leave after a second, you'll be able to get boons again.
It's going to be really, really strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like-
it's also a built-in lightning field, so like all the leaps through it will be daisies, and they're not going to have stability.
Like, wow, so it's gonna be mega AIDS, dude.
I mean, because if you're pretty much locked in there. I mean, because if you don't have stability, if you stun break or
Yeah,
you
it's not gonna
used
do
to be
anything.
able
Yeah.
to,
It's
like,
not gonna be enough.
you
Right?
used to, if you get stability ripped, you pop your second stability, but guess what? You don't have second stability anymore.
Yeah, it just
So
gets
it's-
immediately
yeah,
removed,
it's
right?
going to be pretty.
And the other
I
interesting
wonder-
thing about it is that I think that even though it's going to be the game changer versus world, I think in like a 1 versus 1 scenario in PvP, your warrior is going to be very strong for your warrior to remove stability from people on points while you're trying to interrupt them the entire time.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think Dagger has a leap on a like 6-second cooldown or something like that too. So yeah, it's going to be good.
It's going to be very strong. Yeah, certainly when it comes out.
Yeah.
I think.
Mhm.
And as we said, like the point play on PvP, like, if you drop that elite on a point, like damn, the enemy better not be standing inside that because they're just gonna get absolutely fucked if they attempt to stay inside that. Right? It's gonna be brutal.
Speaking of stability, it'll be interesting to see how Guardian sort of is changed because it's been this support role for so long, and now with the tomes, two of the tomes are still sort of supportive, pretty much. The healing tomes, and then like the other tome gives you boons and stability and stuff. But the first tome is pretty much just damage; it's just burning. So it'll be interesting to see if Guardian is now sort of a hybrid role between a condition damage dealer and supportive roles.
Yeah.
Still.
It looks to be an offensive Condi support, right? Is what it seems
Versus
to be.
world.
Well, kind of
I
everywhere.
don't know how it's
really.
going to work versus world, but I think it for raids, it's going to be a new Condi meta for Guardians. It's going to be pretty strong. The only thing I'm worried about, because when I was looking at the tooltips, the
Fire
Justice,
bleeds, right?
yeah, the axe has bleeds and burning. Also, the axe, each strike, which I think is like half a second, hits twice in a cleave. So like it builds into the
Justice,
it builds
right?
into
the Justice, yeah.
into the Justice passive, exactly. And on top, so it's a lot of hits from that. You'll get the Justice passive from that. The only thing I'm worried about is on this tooltip for the Justice passive, it was no longer 2 seconds of burning. It was 1.5 seconds in PvP. So I don't know what that means exactly. Did they nerf it because it was too powerful? I'm not sure. It'll be interesting to see if maybe the virtue trait for the Grandmaster Justice doubles the duration of the Justice passive. That would be good to equalize it. But we'll see. Also, yeah, there's a trait that says while you're when your passives are on cooldown for your virtues, your tomes, the virtue still works. The passive still works when you use your tome.
You mean when the actives are on cooldown?
Yeah.
Right.
So when you use the tome, which has a lot of burning on it, the Justice tome has a lot of burning on it. Especially the epilogue gives all of your friends attacks, extra stacks of burning. Yeah. So like kind of like Venom Share, or kind of like the new arcane power for Elementalist. So that's going to be very useful, I think. Yeah, that's going to be very useful in World versus World. Because I think also there's a trait that if you don't get the passive still works when your active is up, Grandmaster trait, there's another Grandmaster trait that whenever you give quickness to your allies, they get that same epilogue buff that deals stacks of burning to people. Yeah. So you could be a quickness buffer for your friends and also do a ridiculous amount of burning damage because of it. Yeah.
It seems like it's going to be it's going to be a pretty damn strong offensive support. It's going to apply a huge amount of quickness as well. Which is it's kind of weird, right? Whenever you give them Aegis or stability, or is it retail as well? I can't actually recall that exact trait. Whenever you grant Aegis or stability, you grant quickness, right? And okay, it's called Stalwart Speed, and this can affect multiple targets simultaneously. You've got a 5-second internal cooldown, but like if you hit someone with, if you use the shout, for example, it will give all of them quickness, right? It will give all of them quickness, and that'll
combine pretty well with communal as well.
Yeah, and that's 2-second base duration, right? And so, like, if you suppose you had 100% boon duration, that's a lot of quickness uptime, man. If you're spamming Aegis and stab constantly, so. In World vs. World, and even PvE, that's really, really strong, really, if you can...
Yeah, in PvE, I definitely think it'll be really very relevant. I'm not 100% certain it'll replace Core Guardian in World vs. World, just because I think, especially with the amount of boon rip that we're going to see, it's going to be a lot more important for Guardian to have more support.
Right? Yeah, very
because
very
you still get stability from the new tome, the third tome of Courage, or Justice, whatever it is. Courage. I don't remember if they changed the name. Of Courage, yeah.
Yeah, it's still Tome of Courage.
But it's not quite as on demand. Like, as soon as you hit the Courage virtue right now with Guardian, it gives stability, but you have to switch to the Tome and then use the skill. So depending on how long it takes to channel the Tome, I don't think there is a channel time for it.
They all have short cast times, so little short cast times, and but I mean you've got a lot of like very powerful stuff here. You've got on demand, kind of stab resistance, also some CC as well. Like these tomes are really damn strong for support.
Yeah, they are. The tomes are incredibly strong. But what I would really like to see is another class granting stability instead of it all being centered around Guardian, because in World vs. World, 5 years, Guardian has been the core of the melee train because of that. And it'd be really good to see another class sort of take that role, or help with that role at least.
That might be an interesting way to talk about Soul Beast, right? Because, I mean, I'm not actually sure how this works, so this could actually be complete fake news. But there is a trait that shares stances, right, in Soul Beast. And one of the stances is a stability stance that gives stability. It's like, will this trait share the stability as well? Like, do you now have like the alternative to base guard with the Soul Beast? And finally, Inks can play as Ranger in World vs. World, right? Like, finally, not gonna kick him. And some of these stances are actually really powerful to share them as well. They give you immunity to immobilize and chill and stuff. So, like, sharing that is a really powerful effect, right? But I'm not, guys, don't take my word for this. I'm not actually sure if you will actually share the stability or just the effect. The effect.
A lot of people. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, I was going to say that this Dolyak stance, you gain defensive boons, and then the stance itself makes you immune to immobilize, chill, and cripple. Like, will it just share that effect, or will it share the stability as well, right?
It says their effects plural, so maybe it's
what's the cooldown on that?
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Oh, okay, that's not bad actually. Even if you can trade it to shorten the cooldown, and if it does share the stability, that'll be really
We don't
strong.
know all the Soul Beast traits yet, so there may be a stance trait, but we're not actually sure about that yet. We only know that there is a stance share trait, like an aura share trait for Ellie. It does have reduced duration on it. It's half the duration, but maybe not the boons. I don't know. It's we don't know yet. And bear in mind there wasn't much boon duration on this character. While we know the sort of tooltip. So like with more boon duration, the stab's going to last longer. I don't know. We don't know, guys. We don't know.
Unfortunately,
what we do know is everything's going to change, which is good.
Yeah.
So,
but you know, we will know
videos on Soul Beast, right? And I would love to make that video, especially being a Ranger player. Well, especially now. But there's incomplete information right now. Unfortunately, we don't have all the traits for one. We're missing some of the traits, so it's hard to. I know that Sam did a Soul Beast video, so there's something like that you can do. But I'm hoping that ArenaNet would talk about these things, but they haven't just yet. So
guess what's coming in 1 week? Yeah, 1 week we're getting a demo.
Yeah, but the beta weekend, it's not even new Elite specs, is what I heard. I heard it's just that you just get to play the story, and then the week after that is when you actually get to see the Elite specs. Or am I crazy?
No.
Yeah.
There's no way they're gonna let you play the new story before the expansion comes out.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. It's just like Heart of Thorns. They let you play the first story instance. And they
But I mean,
only
that can't be the only beta. There has to be
well,
something.
no, like it's so whatever Wooden Potatoes, Aurora Peachy, and Bog Otter played, and the news people, whatever they played, that demo and the demos. Well, they're not going to be at Gamescom or PAX,
So that
like on the floor, unfortunately. But that's what you're going to play. That game demo.
Yeah, that means we're probably going to have the elite specs on the demo 2 weeks from now. Then though.
Yeah,
right.
Because there's multiple demos, right? It's not
for that you need to create a PvP character, and then you can play those elite specs in PvP or World vs. World.
Yeah,
not,
World vs. World,
not in
man.
other content. So World vs. World and PvP, you'll be able to play the new elite specs on the weekend of August 18th.
Oh, I'm gonna be gone that weekend. Oh, come on.
Are you missing the good stuff? Yeah.
Yeah.
You only get to see the new
I'm
zone?
gone
Like, you don't get to see the balance?
No.
Oh, man, dude.
I'm gone the 19th through the 24th.
No! Wait, 19? No, you got 1 day then, because it's on the 18th.
Well, that's Saturday. 18th is Friday. So.
No.
So if it comes out on Friday, sure.
Yeah, it comes out on Friday. It comes out on Friday, and it goes to the end of the weekend.
I gotta take work off that day too, and just play all day.
You've got some time to poke around with it.
I'll make every hour of that day count.
Yeah.
But So next week we get the first demo on the weekend after.
We get story and map and the mount and that kind of stuff, and then the weekend after that we get the elite specs.
I gotta be honest, I think they did a pretty good job with this release. What you were saying in the beginning of this as well, Teapot. They did well. They sort of surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a good release. And again, I wasn't really planning to be so excited about it. I can't wait for 22nd. It's gonna be good.
Yeah. And I think that there are some complaints that they didn't really show anything with regards to World versus World or PvP or hardcore PvE, right? And no, I wasn't really expecting it. And yeah, I think it is true that it would have been nice if they showed, like, say, if they had any features planned for World vs. World, but I'm not sure they do, aside from gliding. Yeah. I think it's going to be mostly just tweaks and maintenance, for at least for a while, right? As depressing as it sounds, I think that's kind of realistic, right?
Yeah, of course. What they said in the forums was that they had mentioned they weren't going to be releasing. They were doing World vs. World and PvP updates sort of on their own, separately, at their own pace, is what the developer said. And so I wasn't expecting there to really be anything in the expansion release, anyways, or the announcement about PvP and World vs. World. But I would like to see more plans, because I mean, with PvP, literally all they're doing right now is legendary armor, which again is a good thing, but it would be nice if they did more than that. If they were adding more than that, and if they have any plans to do that, they should.
For sure.
It'd be cool if they said something about it as well. And of course, they haven't. I don't think they've said anything about PvE raids, have they?
No. Well, we know there is going to be one, and Paul has said in Twitch chat that there will be one relatively shortly after the expansion. There will be a raid wing.
That's good. That's good then.
Inside Teapot Twitch chat.
So it will be a thing. There are going to be PvE raids. And would it have been nice to kind of have it in the announcement? Yeah, I think so. I think just a little bit. Maybe they could show they could show a boss if they have one ready or something like that.
Like maybe. What would have been awesome is like if they just gave you a silhouette of medium armor.
Well, you know what, guys? Though we don't know if they have or not, right? Because who knows? One of those NPCs we saw in the trailer might have been a raid boss, guys. Like, how do we know that it wasn't? But show us
That's
some
true. That's true.
Man.
We could be wrong.
We could be wrong, but we do know it is going to be coming.
A boss silhouette. Oh, perfect.
Yeah, man. Would have been hype, but that will be on its way, guys. It's definitely going to be coming there, and there will be some content separate with regards to PvP. I'd probably expect some new maps at least. They're not going to do a stronghold again, guys. There isn't going to be a new game mode.
What?
I don't think so. But
where's my stronghold?
They will be changing the maps, probably adding a new one as well.
Sorry,
for new maps.
PvP.
For PvP, yeah. Do you think? A new PvP?
To be honest, I would rather they didn't add a Stronghold anyways, or like update it.
Well, they're not doing that.
Right, good.
That was
no. I meant a new conquest map. A new conquest map.
Wow,
right?
wow.
Yeah, there'll be conquest maps, and I don't know.
I would rather have them.
Roy hates Stronghold.
I mean, it was so bad.
No.
It
was a hybrid. Dude. It's like half World versus World, half PvP. It's great.
Not even close. to
Yeah,
that.
dude.
Well,
It's got
I think
gates.
too
It's
with,
got gates, dude.
With the
Oh, well,
release
then
of
okay.
Path
I mean,
of Fire,
I guess you just had gates at forever, but yeah. Sorry, go ahead. And...
with the release of Path of Fire too, we'll probably see some new amulets and such for PvP as well. So
Sigils as well.
changes on that front. Yeah, all that.
And obviously there will be new runes. There will be new runes in the game as well. So all that's going to filter into PvP, and that's
yeah, of course.
yeah, and that's kind of
It'll
the big content for PvP, and to a certain extent, World vs. World is just the new balance, like the new gameplay. That's kind of like a huge part of the content that you are going to get in World vs. World and PvP. Is just the way the game is going to be very different, maybe.
Yeah, it's really good. I really cannot wait because it's we've pretty much had the same meta in World vs. World for I want to say about a year and a half now, almost. I mean, it's changed a little bit, but it's been, it's sort of stale, and a lot of people don't like the one group meta, which is definitely fair.
Things are going to change.
Things are going to change.
It'll be good. Change is good.
For gliding in World vs. World, they said that you can get knocked out of the sky if you get hard CC'd, right? Not immobilized, but
we've got anti-air ballistas boots.
Yes,
I think this has to have.
Hell yeah, man! What a meme!
That is,
holy shit!
Yeah.
What a meme!
I mean, that's going to be pretty crazy.
Yeah. Well, hold on a second though. Like ballistas, you target them, they're gonna shoot. They could probably shoot high up in the air, right? The ballistas.
Yeah, they got
the range
long
of ballistas now is I think 3. I think with it upgraded because you have the mastery for World vs. World. I think I might be wrong. It might be like 2,500 or something. Range on ballistas, or maybe 3,000. But yeah, I'm sure that with the anti-air skill, it's going to be very range. Because you can't, if you're gliding, you can't glide into an enemy territory anyways. So if you have a ballista inside like a keeper or tower, it's not like someone would be able to glide into that anyway. So it's going to have to be long range.
You're just going to
That's
see the
what I
whole.
want to know.
You're going to see the whole Zerg. The whole Zerg's gliding towards you ominously. And you quick, get the ballistas! Get the ballistas quickly! Shoot them down!
So I really want ballistas to change to be when you control it, it becomes first-person view, and it's like an FPS, and you actually have to aim.
Oh my god,
that would be great.
Action cam, man! You want action cam?
Action camera. The other thing is, I want to see the interactions between like shadow steps and someone gliding. Like if you steal on someone gliding, is it just going to say there's no valid path to target?
Yeah, I'm sure they're not. Okay. You're not going to be able to teleport into the air or something.
That would be fun. But also, like a Deadeye is going to be able to shoot people out of the air pretty easily, either with Basilisk Venom, or there's a trait on.
Yeah, your first strike is a stun, right?
The trait on Deadeye.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mark them and you just shoot them right out of the air.
That's true. Deadeye is going to be the new anti-air support as well. Deadeyes and ballistas are going to be the meta for anti-gliding.
And
that sounds so much fun to me. I don't know.
I mean,
I just can't wait to be like sieging something. You set your ballista up on a hill. Some little cheeky fuckers are trying to come in. Like I'm gonna help my team.
That
shoot them right out of the air.
Update right there. We'll have to see how it works.
Would the arrow carts, do they only damage people on the ground, or will the arrows that come through the air also hit things in the air?
I think it's an AoE.
Yeah, it's not a projectile. So it's an AoE.
I think wherever that wouldn't.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Maybe they'll change it. I don't think so though.
Probably not. Yeah.
Plus, again, I don't see that being as viable just because, again, you're not going to be able to glide in someone's territory, right? So unless you're setting up a ballista on like random hill square or inside an enemy structure, it's not going to be that significant. Which I think is a good thing. That's definitely good. Because I would hate it if like you were gliding around enemy keeps or something. Like that would be the whole fight. That would be stupid. They're not going to. This shouldn't. I say shouldn't because obviously we don't know. Shouldn't basically change how current fights are that much. But again, it'll sort of add something kind of fun to the game mode, we'll say.
Definitely fun, yeah.
Oh, yeah. We'll have to see. Oh, yeah, catapulting people into the air.
Yeah, dude. You can hit people with other people.
I'm looking for... I wanna go glide around World vs. World on my engineer with Juggernaut, so that you can't get knocked out of the air because you just carry around you have stability pulsing on you at all times.
Well, you can't use skills.
You can't use in the air, though, didn't you?
You can.
What?
You get the boons. You can use a kit.
Oh, right. If you use it, you mean?
If you use it before, you get the boons.
You can glide, and you can. Well, you not while you're gliding, but you stop gliding and then swap your kit.
Yeah,
and
you
glide
get
again
the
and
stab.
you
Yeah,
have
Right,
so
okay.
you have to get that high APM, man. That's sick APM, dude.
Yeah, that'll be
Those
good.
high
Yeah.
skill players, like you have nothing but NGs or with Juggernaut to have stab, right? Is that what you do?
I don't know. Is there anything else that pulses stability in an AoE as you're just going around?
Well, not as you're moving. No, consecrated ground is really the only thing, which is a skill on guardian or hallowed ground.
Yeah.
But that doesn't move with you. Obviously, that's an AoE. Dwarf roads.
Can't use that in the
no.
air, I don't think.
No. Yeah, I don't think there'd be anything else usable. But I also don't really see that being too.
It's not going to be meta, that's
No.
for sure.
Again, these boots bads builds, man. Like
Boots
Boots
bad
bad
builds.
builds, yeah, it's
There you
happening.
go.
It's gonna happen, man.
now gliding builds.
Gliding builds,
Let's
boots
go.
gliding builds, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
This is like
Yeah.
it's like Disneyland for me right now. Just
that's the expansion. All
new
the
stuff
bad
coming
builds
in.
you can do. What's
can't
He's
that?
just
wait.
gonna have content for
Yeah.
days, dude.
Yeah, he can make more videos now,
years.
finally. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you want to what do you want to talk about? What elite spec you want to talk about next, then, Boots? Okay, you want to pick one?
Sure.
Well, I mean, okay, so Hollow Smith looks actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
It's the heat mechanics really cool, and it looks like your stuff does a lot of damage.
And
It
you blow
looks
up
like
as well, and you kill yourself.
and you blow up and you
Yes.
kill yourself.
That's a fun meme.
And there's a trait that makes it so you don't actually blow up, but other people blow up when you overheat. So that's something that's also kind of interesting. So I was thinking for the blow up thing, I was thinking a return of my res yourself build, where you blow yourself up, but then res yourself with Elixir R afterwards.
Holy shit!
I don't know how
It's
effective that's
back.
going to be though.
It's back.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
someone
yeah,
just
Hollow
something
Smith-
about a world versus world tournament. What is this?
What was
What?
what was it?
In Twitch chat, I'm shoutcasting the world versus world tournament or something.
Holy shit!
I mean, sure. I didn't even know there was one, but
Yeah.
that'd be awesome, man.
How does that work? A world versus
What's
world
the tournament?
tournament?
I mean, I have no idea.
GVG, but that's then different.
We actually, there might be another GVG tournament. I don't mean to hijack the stream, but there might be
Oh.
another one. We might make another one.
Fucking high
For
boys.
these
I think what happens is
Yeah.
Roy will cast for 1 week straight, no breaks. and
You
just-
will try hard the
All the-
skirmish. Yeah.
All the different matchups, like every matchup.
This Seafarers just took this tower. Oh boy.
Whoa! They got it. They've got into the gate, guys. They're on the Lord.
Oh,
Yeah,
the Carter
fire.
train.
Yeah.
Troll.
Yeah. They're running
gliding
around in a
from the
circle,
escape.
capping everything
I don't know
for
that one
karma.
works too well.
It will be great.
Yeah.
It'll be great content. Yeah, well, Holosmith certainly
Yeah.
looks very interesting, and it seems to be able to
Yeah,
do
definitely.
a lot of very different things. Right? It seems to have a good chunk of like, burning and to a certain extent some Condi aids on it as well, but it also has power damage as well, right? And the
It
heat
looks like
mechanic
it's gonna be-
heat management seems like a really kind of fun kind
Yeah.
of game to play, right? And the way all of that stuff interacts, I think it could be pretty damn strong, actually.
Yeah, I would say Holosmith, Weaver, Spellbreaker look right now to be the most interesting 3 elite specs to make builds on right now. They look like the most fun to kind of play around with, but not necessarily all 3 are going to be very overpowered though. They just all seem very interesting.
Overpowered.
But I just
so
mean
the thing-
compared to the other elite specs necessarily.
I'm joking, obviously, but I think that Holosmith is interesting to me because it has the heat mechanic. The possibility of that heat mechanic is sort of what I've seen in Revenant about managing energy, basically. So I hope that it doesn't just become max your heat out, blow yourself up, start over again. I hope it's more of continue to manage 50 to 100% energy at all
And you
times.
blow yourself up when you need it,
Maximize
right?
DPS. Yeah, like I don't want it to just be
That's so
get the
great.
max, blow yourself up. Start over. I want it to be
Uh,
continuing to manage 50 to
wait,
100.
I just realized
for sure.
with gliding and Holosmith, you can literally be a suicide bomber now.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
Just drop on people and blow off, man. Oh my god,
Yeah.
that would be pretty funny.
Kamikaze, man.
Yeah,
For sure, there's going to be
kamikaze
management
energies.
though, because one of the Grandmaster traits is going to really tie into that management. Because one of them is if you dodge roll, you
Vent some heat on people and burn them.
I think it's if you vent heat. So, and that's quite a lot of burning too. So there's gonna be builds all based around that.
There's a lot of burning in this elite spec, man. There's a lot of burning. Like, I think there'll be some kind of weird.
A lot of burning in the expansion, man.
Yeah,
Path of Fire.
Path of Fire. I think there's probably going to be some kind of.
Meta.
This is the Condi expansion.
If it's not going to be meta in PvP, there's going to be some really fucking cheesy shit in PvP with like Condi Bernie NG or something.
That's the one thing I'm sort of looking forward to the least is, I mean, you know, Renegade's going to have a Condi spec.
Everything's Condi.
Guardian's going to be more burning. Yeah, that's not good because Condis are too powerful now, in my opinion. I mean, most.
And now you have Spellbreaker.
Yeah, but I mean, that's, you know, yes, obviously it's still strong, like we were talking about it, but I think, you know, there's just still too many Condis in the game. And
Ranger,
if they're nerfing Condi duration, it's probably going to have some effect on the Condi meta, a little bit.
I mean, not when you get one shot by conditions. Although that's not as strong now, of course, it hasn't been, but it's still, you know, over time, we'll see. We'll see how it works, of course. Again,
and Soul Beast is getting a heal that removes conditions as well.
Yeah, no, and there's condition removal on the new Guardian.
It's not. Yeah, no, I understand. Like you can't have enough removal, quite honestly, with all the Condi that's going around. But
we'll have to hope it doesn't make it.
And if they add more resistance into the game as well, like if they push more resistance in, then you can kind of counter the Condi aids.
And hopefully we'll get even more boon strips too. That would be great.
Yeah, to counter the resistance.
Like,
if you ever drop resistance for more than 1 second, you just insta die because you have 50 burns on you or something.
Oh,
it'll be great.
A bit better now. Yeah, I mean it's not. It's not great. Certainly. No. Now I'm hoping that it won't turn into a huge pirate ship condition meta Condi fest for World vs. World, and PvP won't be completely conditioned as well. That would be very annoying.
Well. I mean, I guess about the elite specs is there's not that many ranged Condi stuff except for I think the Scourge. Wait, the Scourge gets what again? It's
Torch.
What does the Scourge get? Oh, Torch. Yeah. So you're still going to be using Scepter, I guess.
Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
So
although I don't know what the range on the Guardian.
It's an axe.
Well, yeah, but the Tome of Justice does a lot of burning.
Oh yeah, well, but again, the Tome of Justice, you only get 5 skill uses, so
they all apply burning. I mean, except for
what
one.
about Mirage? We haven't really talked a whole lot about Mirage.
So Mirage is weird. Mirage is weird and could be really again, just like Deadeye, really tough to play against because it seems like what they're trying to do is make it harder to distinguish between clones and the person. So yeah, so it's going to be interesting because the core Mesmer, the strength of core Mesmer isn't so much in the clones unless you're doing a pure Shatter build. It's more in the Phantasms. But in the Mirage, it looks like you're going to be using clones a lot more. They're going to be much more useful than Phantasms. So it's all going to be about misdirection, and actually, besides being in PvP being useful because people don't know which one you are, it looks like just based on the skills and how much Condi is on them, it looks like it might be very powerful as a ambush Shatter build in PvE. In raiding, it might actually be quite a lot of damage. I'm not sure yet because obviously we have no hands-on stuff, but it looks like it could be a lot of damage as a Shatter ambush build because there's traits that give you the ability to do an ambush again when you Shatter
and when you dodge
and every time.
So,
and when you dodge, and every time you get a Mirage.
So it's like pure aids. I think the real place where this is probably going to shine is probably going to be PvP. Like it's going to be complete fucking cancer, man. Like all these traits are very, very cancerous.
Yeah.
And
World vs. World roaming too.
Roaming.
I mean, they're already annoying. This is just going to make it worse.
It's going to be obnoxious as fuck, dude.
I don't see this helping roaming at all. I mean, roaming has been really impacted a lot negatively the past couple of years, especially with the condition sort of buffs and stuff. And this isn't going to help it, which is really unfortunate because roaming has just been destroyed, in my opinion, for the last few years. So, it's just going to be Deadeye shooting you from 3,000 range and conditioned renegades and burnt guardians one-shotting you.
Mirage is just appearing out of nowhere and giving you complete aids. It's going to be great.
Yeah. I think the thing about Mirage that's going to be the difficulty for me playing it is that your dodge roll doesn't actually make you move anywhere. It just gives you a little. I think that's how it works. So it's going to be kind of weird, like wanting to dodge away from something and just standing still and evading.
Yeah. Well, you can still. I mean, you can still kind of dodge because you can just move.
You don't
right?
have to stand still.
Yeah. It gives you a weird distort thing, but you can still move.
Players are just going to have to like.
Do you still move?
That.
No, you can if you want. I mean,
can.
Okay. Okay.
It doesn't. It's not like a roll like you normally would get, but
you don't get a boost of speed.
Yeah, you can still move and dodge.
Okay.
So
it will kind of make you ooh.
It'll be a bit of an adjustment for people. Why they sort of get used to that, I think. But yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be good. I think Mirage is going to be fun to play because it's going to be very Mesmer. It's going to be kind of what Mesmer was kind of supposed to be. You'll basically be trolling your opponent the entire time when you're playing Mirage, right?
Well, Mirage was someone had the idea for it, right? Like 2 years ago, wasn't there a post on the forums with the idea for Mirage? I don't have the link, but
was there?
Someone came up with the idea 2 years ago in the forums. Yeah, I think so. Someone was linking it in one of the Discords.
There we go. Then
I don't have it. But yeah, it was leaked 2 years ago.
That's probably about the time they started making the elite specialization. So they were like, "Oh, okay, let's just take that."
Yeah, there we go. We got one done already. Now we just need more. Let's just make all of them conditions. One really strong condition removal warrior. We got the elite specs. Easy.
I think probably Warrior was designed after Mirage, if that's the case, because Warrior, like once somebody designed Mirage. They're like, oh, people are going to hate Mesmer, and Warrior's going to have no way of actually dealing with them anymore. So they make the Spellbreaker to be able to deal with that. To counter Mirage in some ways. And that's why they were able to make Deadeye afterwards.
Well, apparently it was Weaver, not Mirage, that was...
Oh, okay.
The idea was thought of 2 years ago, so...
All right.
So my mistake. I'm just wrong this whole stream. Jeez, I'm going to stop talking.
Wrong.
We should start calling you Boots.
Yeah, your boots now.
Yeah. Royal boots.
So do you want to talk about Weaver a little bit then?
Yes, Weaver is hyped. Dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Weaver is fucking hyped.
You're a main, right? You're an Ellie main, right?
Once upon a time, young Teapot was an Ellie.
I think
Once upon a time
was an Ellie main.
I don't know.
At the start of Heart of Thorns, he was.
Just get forced to play Mesmer every time, man. But it's fine. It's fine.
And then World vs. World made him play Guardian.
Now World vs. World made me play Guardian, but no, like Ellie. This is going to be great. I think it's probably going to be pretty Resident Sleeper and PvE. I think I've talked about this with a lot of people. It's probably just going to. You're not really going to use the potential of Weaver in any great deal in PvE. Maybe you
sword.
will, maybe you won't.
Sword hype.
But in PvP and World vs. World, probably roaming. This is going to be an unbelievably fun class to play and really fucking cool, I think.
The one thing I will say, if you mentioned earlier that Ellie might be nerfed pretty hard in the next balance update, and if that's the case for PvP, Weaver might be the new Ellie spec, just because Tempest is so strong right now. It's the best support role, and if that gets nerfed, yeah.
I think they're nerfing the damage. I think they're nerfing the damage of Tempest, though. I think they might actually be making the support stronger. I think they're
nerfing the dampit.
Yeah, I think they're no. They're reshuffling it to make Tempest more like pure support. That's what I heard. And then they're gonna make Weaver the kind of damagey one.
Yeah, like I think I see that. Did you say that you don't think it's gonna be big in PvE?
Weaver is gonna be not that interesting in PvE. Gameplay wise.
Well, probably not. You're probably going to stick in fire for most of it.
Well, exactly. So you're not going to use the cool weaving memes. You're not going to be immersed in the gameplay. But is it going to be very good? Probably. In fact, it has something like 30% of power modifiers or something like that. It might even be 35%. It gives you a bunch of ferocity and precision. Yeah, it's going to be good in PvE. Like you're going to be doing fat deeps on Weaver, but it's not going to be particularly interesting. I don't think. Gameplay wise, it will be cool, but I don't think it will be. I don't know. Again, we haven't seen the numbers. We haven't seen how overpowered the dual skills might be. I could be completely wrong on that.
The elite, the dual skills are kind of interesting. The perfect weave is an interesting elite skill because you get the perfect weave for 10 seconds if you get if you go through all 4 things. But the most interesting part of the perfect weave to me, I guess, for PvE would be the plus 20% condition damage on fire. And your weave ends when you get all 4 and gives you a 10-second boost of all of them. Buff of all of them.
Condi Ellie is going to be the...
Condi Ellie, with Condi Ellie, if you weave properly...
Well, we don't have enough Condi classes right now.
There's not enough Condi. More Condi.
But if if you weave properly with Conti Ellie, you will have 30 seconds of plus 20% condition damage, because you'll make sure you don't get the perfect weave until the last second of your weaving time, which is 20 seconds, and then you get an additional 10 seconds afterwards. So yeah, it might be pretty good. Plus 30% condition damage might be decent for 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. I mean,
yeah.
But the thing is like a lot wherever you go in PvE, right? There's probably going to be only very specific dual skills you want. Maybe, I don't know. Like maybe all of them will be insane. You will actually be kind of running around all over the place, and all of them are going to be good. You're using all of them for damage. You're going to be weaving all over the place. But I think it's probably quite likely that you're going to be in fire and air a lot, and like fire and earth if you're playing Condi, and probably water and air when it will be kind of they won't be that useful. Or not all of them, but in PvP, I think the PvP is where like the actual interesting gameplay.
Are you gonna make a Boots Bad Weave?
Boots Bad Weave.
What? Yeah.
That's gonna be good.
There's gonna be a lot of different builds you can make with Weaver. Just like Holomancer, I think Holosmith. There's gonna be a lot of different builds you can make with it.
Holo Dancer.
Holodancer, yeah.
You can already get those in the game, man, from Fractals.
Inks is the Holo Dancer, right?
The Weaver, yeah, the Weaver. I think like there's the thing I'm disappointed about, but I understand is you're only counted as your first attunement. Like your first two skills is your primary attunement, and that's the only attunement that's counted as on you, unless you're using certain Weaver utility skills, and traits, I think. But like for glyphs, for different traits in the course, you don't get the bonuses if it's your secondary attunement, if you know what I mean. So like if you're fire water or fire earth, let's say, if you have the trait no critical hits on you while you're in earth, you don't get it while you're fire earth, only when you're earth fire, as far as I understand it. So it does limit builds in some way.
It's going to be some interesting gameplay for that, I think.
Yeah,
which is really good.
The gameplay is going to be that you're going to have to be very careful the way you navigate around to trigger all these various attunement effects and bonuses, right? Because you won't be able to. Like the thing here is you won't be able to access your offhand that quickly, right? That's the key here. And you're going to have to kind of play around and be 2 steps ahead of your opponents and be able to predict what you're going to need before you actually need it. Otherwise, you're going to get caught out and get fucked. That's going to be a really interesting aspect of gameplay, and I'm really looking forward to playing Weaver, man. Weaver might actually be enough for me to want to play PvP, man. I don't know. That is actually how good I think Weaver is going to be. Fun.
Want to play PvP?
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Yeah.
You don't play PvP now?
No. It's cancer.
Oh, you got it, TeaTime.
No, they took his stronghold away. He's done.
Yeah, no.
I try, man. I can't enjoy ranked right now, man. It's fucking cancer.
Really?
It's AIDS. No, it's AIDS.
I mean, I think there's a lot of people who would agree with you, but I'll have to see.
Why do you think it's that way? Is it just the meta, or is it?
It's not the meta. The meta
I don't even think
I don't think the meta's even bad. I mean, I don't mind playing the classes.
The Condi
classes
Thieves,
are fun.
man.
No, Condi Thief is. Come on, dude. Fuck.
It's
so
awful.
what is it?
What?
Why is it?
Condi Thief is.
I
don't know. It's AIDS, but it's not like that oppressive. I don't think.
It's fucking horrible. Condi Thief is like the worst thing in PvP right now.
Well, why don't what is bad about the PvP right now?
My bad.
Oh no, Boots.
Sorry about that.
I think a lot of sort of the core PvP players just there's not really enough competition. I would say is probably what it is. It's just not a really competitive place, which is the same for the other game modes.
Right. It just feels like it's always one-sided either way. Like you don't actually get that many good games in PvP right now. It's just that the population just isn't.
Yeah, the population is very small as well. It has died out a lot. I think
we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I hope that again, just like expansion hype and the meta shifting, even if it's not necessarily the best meta change ever, it'll still be different, which I think is going to be really good. I think it'll definitely get a lot more people playing.
When you ban half of NA, that's what happens.
Yeah,
when you ban half of NA,
ban them all.
The only competitive
ban them
team.
all,
Well,
man.
let's not get into that.
Yeah, $400.
Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna go out, that's not the worst way to go out. To be fair,
it's a funny way to go out, man. But yeah, Weaver, man, it's gonna be fucking hype.
Yeah.
Can't hack it in PvP.
There's one thing about Weaver.
I've been 1900 rating in PvP, man. I'm not even bad at PvP. It's just I don't really like it. Dude.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did you say 900 rating?
1900.
Really? Wow, that is really good.
Yeah,
How
my
did you get
900 rating.
What did you pay to get you to 1900 rating?
Oh,
400,
just Syndra, man.
$400.
Like I paid Syndra like $400, man. And he just got me that sweet rating, dude. But I don't know, man.
Teapot, your next automated tournament monthly champion coming up.
Yeah, dude. Well, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait until they all. Well, not this season, guys. Not this season. But never mind. It was a few seasons. I think it was a while ago. I had that rating. But that's when I actually kind of played. But then I just burned out and didn't enjoy it anymore.
Oh, by the way, some spicy drama. Did you see what Brazil tweeted out?
Wait, what did he tweet
the other day? I think it was like the number ranked NA guy on the leaderboards. And he Brazil 100 gold to DC from the match.
Oh yes, I did see something about that.
He tweeted at Chris Cleary.
And the accounts got banned, I'm pretty sure, for a week. Both those accounts, but they didn't get dishonored, so they're still on the leaderboards.
Yeah, you're funny.
Which is interesting, but yeah, that's a lot of that NA drama going around. I mean, it's like every day.
Yeah,
too funny.
Feels drama, man.
Yeah.
Just thinking about Weaver for one more second. I took some notes, and I was looking at the skills, and I was looking at some of the traits. It looks like with Sword, and you're gonna have a lot of barrier. You're gonna have a lot of barrier and a lot of healing.
From Weaver?
From
Really?
Weaver. Well, because there's a utility skill that. Well, first of all, there's an elite
I thought
skill.
Necros were gonna apply more, or with Scourge.
There's a trait that gives you barrier on dodge, and if you're traded into if you're traded into Arcane as well, you'll also be able. If you're in water, you'll also get the heal on dodge. So it'll be interesting to have a barrier and heal both packaged into the dodge. Also,
Arcane, bringing Arcane back. Here we go.
Yeah. Also, auto attack water on Sword seems to do healing. I don't know how much healing right now, but it seems to do a decent amount of healing. The skill 2 is also kind of crazy. It's got a lot of healing on it. It's got a water field on it. You could burst the water field, and you evade for a second and a quarter, I think. It's a huge evade on like a very low cooldown.
Yeah.
And also you got the utility skill. I think it's like the Earth one anyway, and that gives you even more. And that gives you a huge barrier as well. And then there's a trait that also gives you the same barrier. And there's also Earth traits that give you stuff on health as well, like Armor of Earth and stuff like that.
Dagger's back, man. Well, you know, it's the return of Dagger. It's like the mega sustainy brawler type thing. It's back, basically. They're bringing it back.
We just need Selly Ellie back.
Oh, Weaver with Selly Amulet in PvP would probably be the most hilariously insane thing ever. I think it would be pretty fucking.
You can only use the Selly Amulet if you're on Ellie. That's that works.
Damn, like Selly Weaver. Like, I feel like in World vs. World, like Selly Reaver is going to be one hell of a Roma, man. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy, man. It certainly looks like it could be. Looks like it could be very strong.
You have so much access to more skills too. It's like
you got a lot of skills. A lot of skills.
Yeah. Also, what do you guys think about the ammo mechanic that's coming up?
Oh, the way you have 2 charges and you can use the charge on separate cooldowns. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. I think it's kind of cool too. I think it's going to lead to, because I think Weaver, for example, gets ammo charges. His stances are all ammo basically, except for the elite, and so it's going to lead to the Weaver having, if you're using all those stances, a pretty good advantage over its opponents initiating into a fight. So you could use those skills quite often, and try to kill your opponent as quickly as possible while having very good defenses because of it, or very good offense as well because of it. I think Weaver's going to have a lot of use out of those ammo skills. I think it's going to shift the tide a lot, those things.
Yeah. And then Weaver also has a really interesting interaction with super speed. Like, there's a trait in the Grandmaster one which seems really fucking good. Like, for every half a second of super speed you lose a condi, man. Like, damn.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I wanted to know about. Is it a random Condi, or because they list 3 Condis on there, and they're all the movement impairing ones.
No, that's the one that trait gives you super speed when you get hit by one, or when you inflict it. There's one that gives you
so
super
that's
speed
the
when
only
you
reason they ever.
Yeah, I think you lose a condition every half second where you have super speed.
Wow, any condition. That's crazy. And I think there's no way to. Yeah, that's good.
That's good
shit. That's really good.
Yeah. That's some serious good shit, dude. But yeah, Weaver. I think PvP is gonna be good, guys. It's gonna be good. I think. Maybe.
Hold on a second, though. There's no internal cooldown on that, is there?
Yes, 10 seconds, right?
That.
Like 15 seconds.
Close up.
10 seconds or 15 seconds, right?
Wait a second. I have to read that again.
It's like 15-second internal cooldown.
Okay. Lose conditions at a rapid rate. Oh, okay. Okay. So the super speed's on the 15-second internal cooldown. Yeah. And so you could lose conditions every half a second. That's crazy.
And then think about in air, right, Boots? Like think about this bad build. Like in air, you have whenever you attune to air, you get super speed. So you just lose loads of Connies whenever you attune to air, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's three.
There's gonna be so many bad builds for you. Dude.
Yeah, I think Weaver has a lot of potential because of the way attunes work. Damn, dude, it's gonna be some really weird bad builds you can make with Weaver.
Fresh air with the super speed.
You're not gonna need fresh air though. Like the cooldown's already really.
Why
short.
you go?
The cooldown's really.
Well, what
short,
I'm saying is you get almost like almost perma super speed because of fresh air. so you lose conditions every half a second. Even if you wanted to, you could probably even add in diamond skin from Earth if you wanted to, and lose even more conditions when you're above 75.
Sprinter Weaver, man. How is it a bad build? Well, Boots' bad builds aren't really bad builds, guys. They're just kind of gimmicky meme builds.
They generally are.
Well, you say that.
They're just, meme builds. That doesn't mean they're bad. There can be good meme builds, guys.
You know what you should do? You should have what do you call your PvP thing?
What?
Huh?
What's it called? Teapot? You have your PvP thing.
Mystic builds?
Oh, you're going to make me look it up.
Mystic builds?
It's
Mystic
dead,
builds.
Man. It's gone.
Come on, you need to revive it.
Gone.
What the hell? That's what I followed for.
Yeah, it's coming back. Builds. It's coming back, all right? It's
that I don't even know the name of.
Wait, Technozura is constantly saying that DPS will be bad on Weaver. I don't know about that, man. I think you need to wait, dude.
They said the same thing about Tempest. Too. People don't know.
Listen,
but anyway, you should do Mystic builds, but only with approved Boots bad builds from his videos. Those are the only builds you can use.
Somebody wanted to do that. I forget who it was. They were messaging me, and it never turned into anything. But somebody wanted to do that. They asked for like a copy of my bad builds that I thought would be good for a PvP tournament, but it never happened. Oh well.
It was bad, man. No, yeah. I don't know. I don't think Weaver's damage will be bad, guys. I mean, I think it will. I don't know. It depends. I think it will be played as not like a pure DPS.
It won't be bad.
It's not going to be like a full DPS. Like Weaver's full DPS. It's definitely going to be a bit sustainy, a bit brawly, but I definitely think it will have damage in PvP, guys. But no, I mean,
the real question is,
I'm hyped for you, man. It's going to be great. It's going to be terrific. Go ahead.
The real question for PvP is if it's going to replace Tempest as a support.
No.
If it's going to be stronger than Tempest as support, and if there's another class that can fill that role for support in PvP, which I will have to see. I mean, I don't know. Tempest is just so strong as a support class.
Yeah, but you're not.
I don't know if there's anything that's going to replace it.
No, maybe you play something else as the support there instead. Like there's different compositions you can use now. Like Tempest is insane, right?
I mean,
but maybe you run Scourge and you want a barrier-oriented support, right, with Scourge or something.
But Tempest has, I think, I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure Tempest has the best condition removal of any class or support
for other people.
It's pretty goddamn strong.
Right.
But I mean, Scourge does have that as well. Like we segue into Scourge. Scourge has a lot of condition cleanse on short cooldowns, and it's even better than cleanse. It's not even cleanse. It converts into boons, right? It's even better. So maybe you play. I mean, or maybe you play a kind of support guardian or something like that. I mean, there's a lot of other directions you can go in, right? Like Weaver is not going to be probably not going to be played as a support.
Right, no, I don't think Weaver will be a support.
Right? It's a different thing. But then maybe you just run two Ellies, man. You just play two Ellies. You play Weaver and Tempest.
The other thing is, there might be something that can be a better support role than Tempest, but there also might be better DPS roles than Weaver. So Weaver might not be in the meta. But
yeah,
we'll have to see.
yeah.
Maybe
I think the expansion is really going to open it up.
It seems like to me there's going to be a lot more sort of hybrid roles. Like the Firebrand isn't specifically DPS or support. It seems to be kind of both.
I think you could make it to go either way, though. You can make it to like go full on in one direction or another.
I mean, you could, but if you have like full support on Firebrand, then your Tome of Justice isn't really doing anything except for the pull. And you had full DPS on Firebrand. Actually, no, I guess you could do full DPS on Firebrand, but then the problem with that is your Guardians are going to sort of get crushed, and if they're still the bulk of the melee train, that's not really going to work very well unless you pirate shipping, which, But, oh well, we'll see. It's going to be fucked for a while, I think. Like, I think there's going to be a lot of, like, shifts for a couple weeks.
I think that's the greatest part about expansions.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think that's really great.
Yeah.
That there's not going to be... What I would love, and I don't know that this is going to happen, is if there's like more than one viable meta comp, especially for like GVG or something, or as opposed to you always have the exact same thing, like mirror comps. I think mirror comps are bad for the game.
It would be awesome if it was rock, paper, scissors in World versus World for meta comps. Like if this type of comp beats this type of comp, but that type of comp beats this type of comp, and this type of comp beats that type of comp, etc. If there were three meta comps that rock, paper, scissors each other, that would be the best.
But then you come in with the atom bomb and everybody, and you just...
The atom bomb?
You mean the Hollow-Smith dropping from above?
That's right. Just 40 Hollow-Smiths jumping from above.
Yeah, I think this is where it is going to muddy the waters a bit. I think this is where we're going to truly see just kind of the joy of Guild Wars 2 and PvP, especially in PvP and World Wars as well, right? I think it's going to be a lot more ambiguous as to what the actual best is going to be. There's going to be multiple ways of accomplishing the same thing, and that's kind of not what we have right now. Like the meta is kind of a little bit stale, but I think now we're going to have a lot of very different roles and how different classes kind of overlap between each other and have different roles. I think it's going to be really, really interesting to see how that develops. And yeah, I think it is not going to... I think it might not be as simple as this comp is the best and just like shits on all the other comps, right? I think it will be different. And there's going to be some variety. Which is great. Yeah, it's fantastic.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful.
Yeah.
You want to talk Scourge a little bit?
Yes.
Absolutely.
This is hype.
Okay. So
support Necro, boys. Let's go.
Support Necro,
but it also looks like it's going to be pretty oppressive as a... It's going to be like, you do not want to be anywhere near a Scourge if they're traded for pure condition damage. You don't want to be anywhere near them.
I don't think it's on the level of Reaper, though, in terms of like Omega aids.
Condition damage-wise?
Condition damage-wise, yeah. I think Reaper is more oppressive in terms of Mega aids.
Because of the chill, you mean?
Yeah.
Because of chill, yeah. Deathly chill.
Yeah.
It's fucking nasty, dude.
It's
pretty it is pretty overpowered. I mean, at the same time, if you still have very strong condition damage and whatever on Scourge, but you combine that with the support, that's because Reaper doesn't do anything for support, really.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see if you can sort of combine those two. Again, a hybrid role. Have to see.
I think it's going to be pretty good. I was able to snip from one of the casts and actually decipher, because I don't think anybody else has this, I was actually able to decipher what the two missing minor traits are actually say.
Holy shit, what do they say, dude? Hook me up.
Okay, so, hold on a second. So for the first minor trait is Mantle of Sand. It says, gain the power to craft sand shadows and command them using your life force.
Okay.
Gain access to punishment and shade skills. Shade skills inherit the effects of traits that affected shroud skills. So that's actually going to be kind of interesting because I mean, the shade skills that you get, it's kind of hard to see which shroud skills translate to them because they do very different things than shroud skills. So we'll see what that means. But the master miner says gain concentration and expertise for each of your spawn sand shades.
Oh man, that's pretty good. Because you can have 3, right? You have 3 up.
You can have 3, yeah. So I'm gonna guess it's like 50 each. I couldn't actually see the number. It's probably 50 or 80.
I feel like 50 would be kind of weak sauce, though. Don't you think?
Yeah, it might be 80 then.
Isn't it 75? Does it say 75 there?
I'm
trying to read the thing you sent me, and it's barely readable, but it kind of looks like 75.
I know.
And that would be 5%
might
each,
be-
right? So that would kind of make sense, like 15% total buff on boon
Yeah,
duration
maybe.
and conny duration.
Yeah. Well, I think yeah, maybe 5 each. Yeah, that could be it. 75.
Yeah. And the shades have
50.
Doomfire, so you've got burning
Um,
aids. You
the
put
other
torment
one
on people,
is-
they get even more aids.
But the problem is, Doomfire is not great with the shades because Doomfire is on auto attack, right?
Yeah.
But your summons for the shades is an ammo thing. You get 3 charges,
Yeah.
and I think it's on like a 25-second recharge. So you could use them every half a second, but then they're gone for 25 seconds afterwards. So Doomfire is quite bad for this.
It looks like some of them, they have different cooldowns, right? Like one of them has 5-second cooldown, one of them has an 8-second cooldown, one of them has 15 seconds.
Yeah, but Doomfire is only on auto attack, and I don't know which one counts as an auto attack here.
Yeah. I don't know, actually. It's gonna. I think chat makes an excellent point, guys. It's gonna be a very weird. How it actually interacts with the shades is gonna be quite unusual, actually. I think.
Yeah, it is going to be very strange. And also the skill 2. Which one's the skill 2? I'm not sure. Is it the one after or the third one? Also, Transfusion. Transfusion is going to be weird because I don't know which skill it's supposed to be on. I'm guessing it's supposed to be on that channel skill. Last one.
Reworking the core spec as well, someone's saying?
Are they there?
They are, I think. I think someone said that they're reworking Reaper a little bit. And
we're getting Vanilla Necro back. That would be pretty insane.
They're pushing Reaper back towards power, is what I've heard.
Right.
They're gonna.
Right?
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
remove Condi from
Just
Scourge as well,
just
and
remove
I'll
it
be
all.
happy.
Remove all Condi from the
Well, I
game.
think-
Yeah.
Well, that's what it
So
was
if
like.
they-
Reaper was
Go
supposed to
ahead.
be power from the get-go, and it
Right.
never really was.
If they do remove or they lessen the condition damage from Reaper as well, then what Boots was saying before is that Scourge is going to be stronger if they have it as it is now, with the condition damage.
Yeah. So the other minor trait for the Grandmaster is reduce incoming damage for each Sand Shade you have active.
Oh, that's kind of uninteresting and lame.
Kind of boring. Kind of
Yeah.
boring.
What the fuck? That's a shit trait.
Yeah. Well, it's just a minor trait. So
Wow.
it's just
Thanks,
a minor trait.
Thanks, Boots. Wow. Now, stupid
Wow.
trait.
It's just
And
a minor
Teapot, stop
trait.
being so toxic,
That's
man.
fucking
Alright? Boots is
Resident
just
Evil,
trying to
man.
let you know, alright?
Boots, what the hell, man?
Man,
I'm sorry.
why'd
sorry,
you
Boots,
design
I
it
like-
that way, Boots?
Sorry?
Why'd you design it that way?
Yeah,
I
why'd you do
know.
that,
Terrible.
Boots? Why'd you put that trait in? I don't like that trait. That's not even interesting.
Pick
Back
a
to
different
the
trait. It's
Yeah,
bad.
can you not do that better? What the hell, man? Yeah. A Scourge? I don't know, man. All these other traits are so cool. Whenever you remove or corrupt a boon, you actually get the boon as well. Whenever you
All the
torment someone,
skills
you
look
burn,
pretty-
and everything you do is torment. Like, damn, dude. Damn. Dude.
The heal skill is a 20-second cooldown heal skill that gives you 4,000 healing. I don't know what it is when it scales, and 4,000 barrier. Who knows what that is when it scales with your vitality? And the barrier is for everybody, all of your allies. So I think yes, the barriers for your allies.
What's the
4,000.
limit?
Five
How many
targets.
people?
5 targets, yeah.
5? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Just gonna say,
Uh,
50 people might be a bit too much.
Yeah, 50 people. That would be good, man.
50 might be
Yeah,
good.
that's some World vs. World meta right there, dude. Yeah, the way the support is and the way it has a lot of boon corruption. Well, not a lot of boon. It has a good chunk of boon corruption, all these skills as well, but everything puts torment and cripple. Literally everything is torment, cripple. You've got slow as well, like on there as well. You've got burning. This looks to be a pretty powerful kind of area control. Like all the things are kind of weird area control, right? Like you can put down paths. You've got portal as well, so mesmers.
Portal,
Watch out
yeah.
for the necros.
So how does this one work though? How does this work? It's going to be a portal. It's not going to be like Portal in that you put one down and then you can move and put another one. I think it's more going to be like it's a targeted portal.
I think so.
That's
yeah.
my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you use the
So
skill.
sort of like Shadow Step almost?
Yeah, like a
Shadow
shadow
Step,
step
but
at last, and other allies.
And
can use
other
it.
people can use... Right, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Exactly.
going to be really strong.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
pretty
mean, you
good.
can just completely get out of bombs like that, or you can... Yeah, that'll be really strong.
Yeah.
That'll be good for engages as well.
Yeah, just
Exactly.
tunnel into your opponent real quick. Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool, actually.
I really
yeah.
like the Trail of Anguish utility skill that like ruins anybody trying to chase. It's a stun break, I think, too. Is it? And
Yeah, it breaks them.
ruins anybody. It'll be fun to see how that and Spectral Walk interact, and what kind of fun stuff you could do with that.
With weird port. Oh, yeah.
with the portal,
Yeah,
spectral
yeah.
walk, and trail of anguish. It's going to be really interesting to see how that all interacts together.
And that could be good though, because like Necro has always been pretty fucking slow, right? And like it does look like there is a little bit of extra mobility that's getting put in Scourge, so you can actually wriggle away, and it's all really cool, man. Like the support element, like support Necro is finally a thing. Like you can cleanse your team quite a lot actually. There's quite a lot of condition cleansing, like anti-Condi, but there's also still that classic boon pressure. And you put loads of torment everywhere, and it again, there is a bit of a problem. Like a lot of Scourge is you inflict one Condi, which also like inflicts another Condi, and it inflicts like a shit ton of Condis all in one go. So there's a lot of stacking there. But I don't know, like the entire theme of it as well is going to be really strong. I think it's going to be a very different way to play Necromancer, and the support barrier focus, like instead of healing, you just kind of shield people instead of healing them directly. I think is really cool. Will it replace Tempest? Probably not. I don't know. Like Tempest healing is pretty fucking strong, but I don't know. Maybe it will be a different way of doing it, like a more aggressive way of playing a support class in Guild Wars 2. I don't know. I'm pretty high. What do you guys think about that?
I think it'll be. I don't know. I'm just really excited for all the elite specializations.
Yeah.
It's Scourge.
Unfortunately, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't have a whole ton to add until I actually sit down and play them and really feel it out. Looking at the spreadsheets doesn't. I know that Boots loves that. That's just not really my.
Well, I don't look at spreadsheets.
Well, not spreadsheets, but like the wiki or whatever, like on paper. You know what I mean?
I'll be right back 1 sec.
Like looking at the tooltips spec on paper is, I don't know. I want to play it. Or I want to see videos of
2 weeks,
played.
apparently. 2 weeks from now.
And there are some videos of it being, well, not so much being played, but there are some videos of tooltips and such, but yeah. I was kind of hoping that, and maybe they will, who knows, there's still a lot of time for ArenaNet to do like a class overview kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and obviously we're going to...
Where they show the class off and whatever.
Yeah. We'll see all of this in a lot more detail later on, guys, and that's when we're going to have a better idea of how all of this is going to work and how good it's going to be to a certain extent when people actually have the chance to play with it and test it out. But so at this point, it's some very, very wild speculation to a certain extent.
No, the play test is not next weekend.
No,
it's the weekend after.
You're going to wait a little bit.
We might get a little preview on the Tuesday or something before we get to play test it 2 weeks from now. It's possible.
Right, you're gonna get to play story. We talked about this earlier. I realize there's a lot more people here than there was earlier, but this upcoming weekend, 13th through whatever, 11th through 13th, is that what it is? I think. And anyway, this upcoming weekend, you're gonna get to play the story, the first story chapter. You're gonna get to play a section of the map, but not the whole map. You're gonna get to play with mounts, or at least a raptor. And whatever else is in that area. Just like Heart of Thorns' demo, it's going to be just like that. You won't get to play the Elite Specs this upcoming weekend. It's the weekend after. 18 to the 20th will be Elite Specs in PvP and World vs. World.
It's going to be awesome.
And it is going to be awesome.
It's not going to be in PvE? You can't use the Elite Specs in PvE for that? Is that what you're saying? Or?
Right. Well, yeah.
So I guess everyone's going to be
World and
World
PvP.
then. Let's go.
World versus World. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be
All
great.
right, dude. That's going to be lit. Oh, man. Queues on every map. 500 queues. Can't wait. It's going to feel like season 2 again.
All over again, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
How much damage? Someone said, did I miss Deadeye? So I'm going to bring it back there for just a small amount of time. How much damage do you think the skill 4 on kneeling is actually going to do with max malice? Because skill 4 on rifle, Death's Judgment, when you're kneeling, it says the tooltip right now says, I don't know what kind of armor they were using, but it says 1500 base damage, which is approximately twice to 3 times as much as the auto attack, and more than any other skill on the rifle. So 1500 damage base damage, and it gets 15% extra damage per stack of malice. And with a certain trait, you could get up to 7 stacks of malice after a certain amount of time. So that's 105 additional damage with this skill. 105%. How much damage do you think that's going to do when it's fully maxed out?
It's going to be a lot, man. There are going to be very weird. I guarantee, when the expansion is out, guys, there are going to be Deadeye montages of there's just pin sniping people, pretty much. In World vs. World, like one-shotting people by stacking as many modifiers as you can from all the other trait lines in full Zerk with like a huge amount of ferocity, and you just one-hit stuff. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty high.
It's gonna be hilarious, dude. It's gonna happen.
The other thing is with the elite trait, with the elite skill, the Meldon Shadows, which is ridiculous. You give yourself stealth and remove revealed from you. And it's an ammo skill with 2 charges, so you could do stealth, shoot them with this thing, get revealed, remove revealed, go stealth again, hit him again, remove revealed, do it again. It's gonna be kind of ridiculous.
That's gonna be really strong.
Yeah.
It might, you might even take Deadeye, but not use rifle in PvP. You know.
I definitely think so. Yeah, with backstab.
If that works, yeah. Dagger Thieves. Let's go.
I was thinking Dagger Thief could become meta with Deadeye in raiding.
Yeah, maybe.
Just spamming backstab.
That might be an option. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be good.
Because you could Cloak and Dagger backstab and then Elite backstab like 3 times or whatever. That would be very strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You guys want to talk about Renegade? Since that's the only thing we haven't talked about.
Yeah, we should I was going to say, I don't know if you mentioned it yet, but yeah.
Is it the only one we haven't done? Is it the only one we haven't done?
Did we talk about...
We didn't really talk about Soul Beast.
Okay.
Yeah, not that much. Who cares about Ranger? Ranger sucks anyways.
Ranger's the best. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. It's going to be a Condi spec. You're going to get rid of your useless freaking pet, which is going to be amazing.
That'll be great.
You can meme a Revenant.
You turn into a pet. You can turn into a Revenant.
You eat your pet. You just eat your pet, and then you take on its powers.
Go Renegade.
You can eat that damn bear
let's
finally.
Fucking go Renegade. Let's go.
Okay.
And we don't really know that much about it. We don't know the traits, right? And that's pretty important. We only know some of the class mechanics and the weapon skills, right? So we don't know a huge amount about this. But it gives alacrity. Ooh.
More alacrity.
Ventari Renegade, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, speaking of alacrity, I wanted to ask about alacrity. Do you think alacrity is going to affect the ammo charge recharge?
Well,
I would expect so. I would expect so, yeah.
Yeah, as long as it's the same sort of recharge as any other skill has, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, does it like, it applies the 2 charges, right? And then do they each have a cooldown, or how? I don't really know how this works.
So the way it works, have you ever played Overwatch?
Not really, no.
Okay, well, in Overwatch anyway, there's a Tracer is one of the characters, and it has a blink ability that has 3 stacks, and if you use it, you could teleport somewhere. You could use it 3 times in a row, and
then does the skill go on cooldown?
No, what happens is each time you use it, from the time you use it, it starts recharging that charge.
Oh, okay, right.
It's a continuum split, basically.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess it probably would recharge, because, yeah, Alacrity would probably recharge this ammo thing as well, which is going to be pretty strong.
I don't see why I wouldn't, yeah. Anyway, Renegade. We got Condis, guys. I hope you like Condis. I sure hope
that's great,
you like
there haven't been any other Condi specs yet.
No. And, how do you like Condi Rev right now, Roy? You like that in World vs. Well? You like that shit?
It's just the best. And you know what's even more exciting? I don't know if you saw it. One of the minor traits for Renegade is, like, I think 30% more condition damage or something.
Wait, what? Wait, the ambush command. Wait, what? What's
it's like some minor trait that increases.
Oh yeah, 20%.
20%.
It's just
nice.
That's a minor trait. If that was a grandmaster trait, maybe, but a minor trait that increases condition by 20%. That's too much. And I mean, condition rev right now, I think, is potentially the highest DPS spec in World vs. World for GVGs and stuff. So yeah, I'm not looking forward to that.
Scott, I have a question for that though.
Yeah.
Because it says for that particular trait has 3 different pages to it. I wonder what those other 2 pages are all about.
Someone is saying that it gives you ferocity.
Yeah, it gives you 300 ferocity as well. 300 ferocity as well.
The concern with Renegade is that the costs, the energy costs, are pretty high.
They're pretty steep.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they're actually very steep, aren't they? Actually, looking at these.
Good. Hey, you know what? Make it
Good.
200 energy per skill, so it's literally unplayable. And then
Oh,
I'll be
man.
okay.
I don't know. So one of the reasons I deleted my Revenant was because I wasn't overly happy with condition play. I mean, we'll have to wait and see more about this. Well, I just didn't like the way Condition Rev plays in PvE. It doesn't do World vs. World, where it's obviously very strong, right?
Is it good in PvE?
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
Yeah, well, it's meta for Revenant right now. But
isn't Revenant not meta at all, though?
Connie Rev is really good on some bosses, especially Ken. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Especially on one exact boss, but no, it's good on a lot of bosses.
Sure.
Okay.
But no one plays Rev yet. Regardless of that, like I think short bow is actually a pretty good weapon for Revenant because it's mid range, which is something that they really lack. That's going to give them an extra. It's going to give them an extra.
They really only have one ranged weapon, and it's very very long.
And this hammer, which
is kind of. But now you've got a ranged Condi aids instead of just melee Condi aids.
Something interesting about this also is the elite skill. I think for Renegade is going to be quite interesting for I'm thinking any game really. You basically go at a -4 energy thing, so you go -9, so you're going to be losing energy pretty fast with it. But it gives all of your allies
lifesteal.
A lot of lifesteal. Oh yeah, like a lot of lifesteal.
It's very good, I think. If you can get 2 or 3 people with this skill, this is really good. An extra 700 damage on every hit, and it also heals you for 400. Like, damn, that's good. If you can actually
you say good, but
this could be used really effectively, I think, in a strong rotation for PvE for a raid.
Yeah, I think it should be good. You know what? I have no issue with Condition Rev becoming stronger in PvE raids. That's not a problem for me. The stronger
it's just World vs. World. That's an issue.
And PvP, yeah. Stay out of the competitive.
But they will be. They'll be strong there.
And I
think. Unfortunately, yeah. It's too strong.
Especially some of these skills that they get.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a really, thank God for Spellbreaker, but.
I really like the kind of theme of Renegade. It's a bit like Ritualist. You kind of summon kind of spirits to a certain extent, and they bestow an effect or they do something. That's pretty cool. It's a really cool theme. It's kind of what people wanted to a certain extent. Like it's like the Rev PvP title is like Champion Ritualist, right? And now it's kind of they are bringing that back a little bit to a certain extent with how the utility skills work. I think it's a really cool mechanic. I think it's really cool. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play with, and a lot of role play factor to it as well. Like there's a lot of RP in it as well, so you become immersed. And give your opponents aids and set them on fire and slow them and cover them in torment, and they will want to quit the game. It will be great. And you know what, guys? I have to say, if any elite spec might be kind of broken, it might be this one, honestly. Especially when we see the traits. Like the traits could honestly make this into the hell spec. And make you want to not play anymore if you play against this. I think there's a real chance of that being the case, And maybe, I want to see those traits. I want to see how busted they are, and I'm gonna laugh and I'm gonna love it. It's.
I'm gonna hate it, and I'm gonna hate you. So
there's like one of the skills costs 40 energy. I don't know. It's
good. Which one is that?
It's very steep. Expensive. It's very steep.
Citadel bombardment.
Bombardment, yeah. It's one of the extra, it's one of the F skills, right? The additional skills.
Wait, 40?
40 energy, yeah. It's really steep, So they
orders from above it's 30 energy. There's a lot of 25 energy ones. I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing because you'll have to pick like which skills are really the most important to use. But
it's going to be a lot about energy management now, which is good.
Yeah. We might see that we might see the cost reduced a little bit, or maybe some of the abilities like reworked a bit to make them a bit more like less punishing. But then again, it could be that you have to be very, very careful with your energy, and energy management will be a really big part of this elite spec, right? So, it'll be very interesting to see how the gameplay of this develops, right? So yeah. I'm hyped, man. I think it looks really cool.
Mm.
That's
elite specs.
That's elite specs. We got to see the traits though. Really, we got to see the traits for Renegade to really get a better example of this, because the traits define the the specialization quite a lot, right? It could really.
There's gonna be like one of the grandmaster traits is gonna be all energy cost reduced by 30, and then the spec is gonna be just so awful.
I mean, there could be
that would be hilarious.
What we haven't seen with Rev is any way to like refund energy, right? Like maybe striking a foe that has 3 or more burn stacks, refund some energy or something like that.
The other class that I think has a similar sort of mechanic as far as how you spend your skills would be Thief, right? You know, they use initiative to spend skills, and they do have mechanic get the initiative back. You know, there's signatures, a couple traits that do it, and there isn't anything like that for Revenant. So it would be interesting to see if there's some sort of trait that reduces energy cost or gives you energy back for using a certain amount.
I don't know. Or like every time you dodge or something, you get energy.
I don't know.
No, you use energy to get energy. It's perfect.
Yeah.
Right. The reason I say I don't know how great an idea that is because they want you to swap between legends, and
to recharge your
that
energy.
kind of gameplay would make you want to sit in one legend and not change. So. Yeah,
it depends how they do it, but.
Yeah.
Although the thing is, you have to you trade that off because you get a lot from switching attunements. You get more than just energy. You stun break, you clench conditions, you do damage with equilibrium if you're playing power rev. So that you're right, but at the same time, you do gain more than just the energy back from swapping attunements or stances rather. But yeah, we'll have to see how it works.
Yeah.
Should be good.
Yeah. Do we actually have any additional thoughts on Soul Beast? That we want to kind of go over it again, but I think we did cover it to a certain extent. Like, it's going to be, you know, finally the pet AI is gone. It might have some application in World vs. World with the stance sharing and a very different role. And I don't know, we need to see all the skills, right? I think we have seen a lot of the pet skills, right? Don't we know all the pet skills pretty much? Didn't someone find it out? And
someone posted it on the forum.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them are known. And again, the mechanic. Like the design, I love the design on that, really. Like how every single pet has a different skill. Like realistically, most of them are going to be complete garbage. I know that, guys. Okay, I know that most of them are going to be trash. But just the design on that, I really love the design on Soul Beast. And I really hope it has a good place in all the gamers, right? All that fat heaps in PvE. World versus World, I think it definitely has a possibility, depending on how the stance share works.
Soul Beast is the one thing I didn't really look into that deeply because again, there's not that much on it right now.
Yeah, who cares about Rangers?
Yeah, kick all Rangers. Kick all Rangers. That's what we do on Vabby, man. That's what we do on Vabby. Kick
I was wondering, like,
poor eggs.
How are they increasing the Rangers?
Doesn't even trigger me anymore. I'm used to it. I've got Ranger armor. Doesn't even bother me anymore.
How are they increasing the Rangers' damage when they meld to make up for the loss of DPS from the pet?
Well, I mean, do the pets even do that much DPS in World versus World? Don't the pets just
not in World versus World?
No,
but
in World versus World, they're instantly dead. That's one of the problems.
Yeah. So, but I guess in PvE,
PvE does a lot of damage. Yeah.
So there's a minor trait that says when you meld with your pet, do 700% more damage.
700% more damage?
Okay. I was like, there's no.
Might be a little bit too far.
I was waiting for Boots' response.
Oh my god.
Yeah, as chat is saying, you get the stats. You get additional stats for absorbing your pet, right?
Makes sense. That's good.
And that makes perfect sense, right? If you eat a tanky pet, you'll get more vitality and toughness, and then you'll also get a tanky ability. So that also makes up for it.
Does it do that?
Yeah, it's like based on the type of pet you have.
So what happens? Yeah. What happens when you have those traits that say your pet does 30% extra crit chance and a lot more ferocity and stuff like that?
Presumably that would affect you, or at least the pet abilities, right?
Can you meld with any pet, or are there only specific pets?
Anyone, man. Any pet. Yeah.
I just want you to be able to.
If you want to switch your meld, then you have to leave your pet stance, switch pets, and then swap back in.
Okay.
Not that that's a big deal, but
so you can. How fast can you swap between like melding with the pet and coming back out and then melding again? Do you know what the cooldown? No, because that would be pretty interesting. Sort of.
Well, there's a 10-second cooldown on swapping.
Right.
You can meld with any pet, but most rangers try to avoid melding with this pet that I just pasted into chat.
This thing is fucked up. Look how horrifying it is. Look at it. It's nasty, man.
Well, actually, do you change? Do you change? Oh, that would be cool if you could change.
That would be cool.
Yeah. I think you get a weird effect, right? I think you get a kind of some leaves on you or something. Yeah. But you don't actually get a dog head or something. That would be funny. But
yeah, so the way some people are ask the way it works. So the way it works is one skill I believe is the F2, and then the other skill that you get is from the pet family.
Yeah, you get the specific in the family, right? So you can do you can turn into a revenant, man. Like rangers can turn into revs with smoke scale. You can actually do a sword 3 on people.
Yeah.
And you get the knockdown. So it's really cool. I don't know.
Oh, one last thing for Deadeye. I forgot to talk about.
Oh, go on then. Hit
us. There's a trait. There's like one trait in each section that is very different from the rest of what Deadeye seems to be wanting for you to do. And it's all about steal skills, or like the skills you get from stealing, and boons. And it looks like with Deadeye, you're probably going to be able to make a really strange and very maybe powerful. It's really hard to say at this point right now. Like boon share build. It's going to be very strange. I think you guys should look into that.
So just a correction for people who might watch the VOD later. The way that I was wrong. The way that it works is that both of the skills that you get when you meld are from the pet's family. You get the F2 skill when you swap out of the form, when you leave the form.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I mean, what boons do you get from stolen skills that you don't actually get that many? You get the Ecto from Mesmer's. And what?
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm going to show you.
Regen on the Ranger? What else do you get from the steal? I can't.
Where did I put the skills? Okay,
I'm not really that familiar with Thief, unfortunately. So like the boon isn't going to be that good.
There's going to be a few. So anyway, so here you go. We got one in the chamber that says when you cast a cantrip, gain 1 new random stolen skill. And then you have improvisation that lets you use stolen skills twice.
Oh, apparently Deadeye has different stolen skills.
Great.
So
maybe
it'll be even better, right? It'll be even stronger.
Yeah. Yeah, and then Peripheral Vision says stolen skills apply their boons to allies near you and apply their conditions to foes around you, around your marked target. So you're going to be able to pretty much get stolen skills very, very often with this, like very often, and use them twice, and apply all the stuff to people around you and conditions to close to your enemies. It's going to be it's a weird build, I think, this one, but it'll be interesting to see how it works.
Yeah, I agree, but I mean, if there's different skills, then it's gonna be different. Yeah, you got epi, like everything's epi. Yeah.
Good.
More epis. We've got even more epidemics, right?
I missed epi. You know, I want it back.
Hasn't Spellbreaker got epi as well? Isn't there a trait that copies 5 condis onto everyone around you?
Okay, I'm not excited.
They put more. They put epidemic in the game 3 times. They got pulsating pestilence. You got epi. I think Spellbreaker kind of has epi, and now Thief has epi, right? It's good. More epidemics, man. Yeah, I think that's about it then, right, guys? We've covered everything. We've done it all.
Everything.
You know what you could do?
Well,
you know what I just realized? You could set up an epi now.
A mega epi.
You could set up your own epi without having to have somebody on their team of resistance. You could give your warrior resistance, have him get all the conditions on him, and then transfer all of the conditions with the trait with the full counter, and then epi that person.
So you have the combo epi. You get the epi into the epi.
There's never been this much theory crafting for epidemic before.
So wait, you get all the connies on the warrior. You epidemic them onto other people. Then you epi again and just double it up. Is that what you're telling me, Boots? So
I love gameplay where you're all just pressing one button. That's incredible. Very interesting. Very very fun. And then we can glide by.
Oh my god. Yeah, you can drop down on epi people.
Now we should be gliding in PvP. But anyways.
Yeah, it'll be wonderful. But
yeah,
I think
we'll have to see what gets nerfed fast.
Nothing. It's all gonna get buffed. It's all gonna get buffed actually. We're just gonna keep more epis, man. It's all more epis. But anyway, I think that will about do it, guys. Let's let's talk about it a little bit. Let's explain who we are and our beautiful guest. But only slightly older than me. It is Roy.
9 days, boy.
What are you up to? What are you up to these days, oh boy?
That's the young one.
Yes, Teapot's the youngest one in the stream, guys.
The
All right,
young gun.
I might look like I'm 12, but I am 9 days older than Teapot. All right, suck it. Not much, man. I've been playing Guild Wars 2 a little less just because my guild's on a break, but gonna get back into it for the beta weekends and the expansion course. I did want to mention the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments. If anyone doesn't know, Jebro has created a Unity gaming organization for PvP, and there's 2 tournaments every month. We've done 4 so far, 2 in June and 2 in July, 1 for you, 1 for NA both. We're skipping August and September. We're going to have more tournaments. The dates you announced, if you're not in the Yu-Gi-Oh Discord, there is one, but for NA, it'll be the 10th of September, and EU will be the 17th. So make sure you tune in for that. PvP tournament hype.
Do people hear about the Yu-Gi-Oh Discord and go into it thinking it's going to be about Yu-Gi-Oh and then get really disappointed?
Couldn't tell you.
It's a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. It's hybrid with Guild Wars 2 there. You got that in there.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, no. So that's that. That's fun. Good. And happy birthday to Teapot. His birthday was very recent.
Old man
congrats
now.
on,
Feels birthday.
you can now legally drink in the U.S.
Nice.
Only 5 years after you could do it in the U.K. Good for you. And yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Glad to talk about PvP with you boys.
Yeah, we got some World vs. Sword and PvP in there as well. We covered everything.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. Also, kind of returning in the top left-hand corner, not in the closet this time. Is Boots, Wall of Enders?
He was right.
Hey, everybody.
He was right.
Woo. I was right. I recommend all of you see that video again. Watch all 40 minutes of the argument. It was a lot of fun. And no, I'm Boots. I do bad builds and some other videos, and it's going to be really fun getting my hands on all these elite specs, is all I got to say. Besides that, check me out on my YouTube channel, World of Enders.
All right. And the Dance Lord himself, MMO Inks.
Dance till you cringe.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The Dance Lord.
I
When
thought it
are
was
you
a great
releasing
video,
your
man.
next XD video, Inks?
I don't know. I don't know. That was sort of just random
video.
spur of the moment, early morning, whatever. But more importantly than that, the most important thing is use my link to buy a Pacifier.
I'm gonna buy one from each of you. How about that?
Hey,
Nice.
That's
good
the way to do it.
Easy accounts,
That's the
man.
way to
Be
do
sure to
it.
be sure to buy accounts from everyone here, except Roy.
There you
Can't-
go.
can't
There you
buy
go.
accounts from him.
Teapot, when's your 24-hour stream, by the way?
That's
Get that
gonna be
out.
that's gonna be on the second beta weekend, the 18th.
Second beta?
Then. Somewhere
Alright.
around
And
there. We're gonna go hard. We're gonna play everything.
I
We're
will
gonna
be giving
thoroughly
Teapot-
play everything.
I will be giving Teapot a few copies of Path of Fire to give away for that 24-hour stream. So make sure you tune in
Wow.
for that.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow,
What a nice guy.
it's pretty hype. But yeah, be sure
Teapot's-
to 24-hour stream, right, guys? But yeah, be sure to follow all these guys. Follow Roy's Twitter. Oh, he doesn't.
Well, you don't have to follow me on Twitter because I don't use it at all.
Okay.
So
Well, then,
literally
okay,
created it because Deborah
do it
asked me.
anyway.
Yeah.
You can follow all this stuff, and then of course you have to follow this stream as well, guys. I mean, this has been quality content. Obviously it's always quality
Yeah.
content.
It's fun.
But it's all good stuff, and this tea time has been quality. It's time to follow, and also it's time to subscribe, guys. Just hit that sub button. Just do it. Just do it. I think we can all agree it's a great thing to do, and most importantly of all, you are obviously going to
Just
follow me
keep
on
on
Twitter, guys.
chilling.
Keep
Mighty
on
Chiller.
chilling. Mighty Shellpod, man. Now, there you go. Origin AS. He actually did it. The absolute man actually did it, man. But yeah, follow me on Twitter. Don't let Inks catch me up. Don't let that happen, guys, okay? Don't do it. And obviously, buy at least one copy from every referral link. There's about 50.
Oh,
So, you're going
someone
to have a lot
just
of accounts.
Subscribe too.
Yeah, I told you. He just did it. He just did it, man. It's crazy. But yeah.
Pretty awesome.
I guess that'll pretty much do it for us, guys. Follow everyone here, subscribe, all that good stuff. Watch it all. Watch Inks' dance party video. He's going to be releasing one of those every week now. So watch out for that. And yeah, we'll see you guys later. It's over, guys. It's over. We're out of here. I don't even know who I'm going to host, but it's going to be someone. Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you later.
Good
all
show.
of us will see you later.
Cheers.
Right. Thanks, guys. Farewell.